in what has to be one of the most anticipated shows in all of Philadelphia. Is this Football Monday, baby? Hey, how awesome was it? How awesome was it watching football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I don't give a shit what it was. I told you 60% of the players that played over those 4 days are going to be made up of your roster. Okay? Over 60% are going to make up the roster of the Philadelphia Eagles. It was great to see, man. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. The only thing during the first 15 minutes that will detract us will be super chats. New rule on the books. Because we got a lot to get to. Let's get to the good. That was pretty damn awesome last night at Lincoln Financial. It was like a college atmosphere last night. That's something that Xander probably saw with the Crimson and White game there in Tuscaloosa, where you get that stadium, they fill 90,000 fans. NFL fans don't do that shit. And I thought that was great last night. I did. I thought that was fantastic last night. I thought the whole thing was great. I thought the whole thing was absolutely sensational. You know, the love affair that the city of Philadelphia has with the football team was on display yesterday. That thing is absolutely awesome, man. Really, really great stuff. Now the bad. Landon Dickerson carted off the field. And we are waiting, and I know Xander's keeping an eyeball on this. And we're going to have Dr. David Chow on with us, a dear friend of ours. We will have him on. That'll be at 5:30. We're hoping to be able to catch up with Gary Cobb. He's at a golf tournament. So we're hoping to catch up with him. That'll be at 4:30. Xander will be with us in his normal spot at 3:30. Let's go here. Jeff Kerr says it was the fans' fault for the injury. I'm not sure where to go with that. I didn't hear his comment, and I don't care. But I do care, Abe, about your super chat. Thank you very much. No, Bruce. Dr. Sileo, I get doctors actually on the program. Dr. David Chow will be with us at 5:30. He'll be there for you, okay? So I'm not a doctor. We just happen to get doctors on. Is that cool? So we'll be keeping an eye on the report. By the way, the longer this goes on, the worse it gets. You want to let people know right away. So at the end of the day here, not very good news as this goes on throughout the day. Hit the like button. Let's get to the topics here. The effect of Landon Dickerson. If this thing does pan out where he can't go, let's just do this for the first half of the season. That means 7 starters are off your Super Bowl roster. How you feeling? Let's do this first. Let's back up on that. The effect of Dickerson not being in the – you don't have the best offensive line in football any longer. You get the best tackles. But you don't have the best offensive line. You lost both guards. You have a center who's recovering from back surgery who hasn't played at all in the exhibition season or in the preseason. So you got a wounded center, and you lost both guards from a football team that was the best running attack in all of football. There's not a chance in hell you're the best offensive line. How can that be? Steen's winning the right guard job by default. You've lost both guards. You've lost both guards, potentially. If this comes out that he's lost, especially for the first 4 games, you do not have the best O-line. You would have lost Becton. And by the way, letting Becton go is now elevated. And it now becomes a bigger loss. Okay? It becomes a bigger loss. So, like I said, you do not have the best O-line. You lost both your fucking guards. Both guards. And a hurt center. I'm not saying Cam's not going to come back and be 100%. You lost both guards. You're still trying to figure out your safety and corner. And by the way, this is brand new news. Okay? This is brand new news. So here's my takeaway on what it would be with the loss of Dickerson. Your running attack this affects Saquon Barkley. Big time. This affects Barkley. Last year, Barkley, 3.8 yards before anyone touched him. And you lost both of your starting offensive players of a year ago that had a historic running attack. You're not as good. End of story. It's not a debate. I'm not debating it. Tyler Steen and Matt Pryor versus Landon Dickerson and Mekhi Becton. It even sounds stupid. It even sounds dumb. And by the way, you guys keep telling me about Jeff Stoutland. He hasn't done shit yet with Tyler Steen. Hey, you're hoping that it's not season ending like the guy in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Okay? Hit the like button. By the way, this also brings you back 7 starters. If Landon's down, are off your front 22. 7. I mean, Landon, Becton, that's actually 8 starters off your Super Bowl team. Half the 22, almost. How are you the same? You would have lost the right guard, the left guard, right? Dean, Oren, Josh, Milton, CJ, and Slay. I mean, how are you in the room with this when you still think you're the best team in football? Okay, let me see here. Double check. It's 7 off your 22. I just did it, douchebag. It's 7. Both guards off your Super Bowl team will not be playing. Both of your defensive ends, a linebacker, a safety, and a corner. Make 7. 7 off your 22. That started the Super Bowl 7 months ago. Okay? You're not the same football team. You are not. Y'all stay cool. You know this. I'm assuming Dickhead would open talking shit about the injury. Talking shit about the injury? Hey, Marshall, fuck you. I'm not talking shit about the injury. I'm talking to you on where you are now in the room. Fuck you. How's that? Did we just see our backup offensive line take on the Bengals' first-team defense? Typical Sills. No, you're right. You're right. Sills, this injury throws the spotlight on Stoutland's process of giving second and third team guys and those players first team reps. Absolutely. We're not as good with Landon out, but we're in a better position to find a replacement. That's a great take, Bob, and I'll bite that. Absolutely true. It's because the preparation that Jeff does, but I think they're pretty good. However, Bob, do you not agree? You lose with Becton and with Landon Dickerson a shitload of experience and a shitload of talent. Bob, that's a great take. Okay? That's a great take. Get this. Gloom? Doom and gloom Dan. Guess we should just get... No, that's not what you're doing. You got 17 games to play. You're no longer head and heels above everybody when you lose 7 starters. I didn't say you're not going to be in the conversation. Absolutely not. Hey, by the way, I'm awake. If you don't like it, this might not be for you today. You should come back when the show's a little softer. Because I'm sure you're, going to have a little bit of an aneurysm today with where we're going to go. So if I were you, you might want to take the day off. Sills, I had get down there to work with the Eagles. Traffic was a nightmare, but I saw Jason Kelsey at the NovaCare Center and met some of the players after practice. That's pretty cool. Very good. Kelsey looks like he's really, without a doubt, becoming part of the organization and kind of like a ambassador, which I like it. Okay? I do. Absolutely great. Okay? So, like everybody else, I'm sitting here waiting to see what the outcome is. All right? And you know what's funny? Now you have people like making this things up like Sileo. Put the juju on Landon. Yeah, I wish. If I could do something like that, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on an island somewhere. No one would ever find me again. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Nobody wants to see that guy injured. Nobody wants to see that guy out. The effect of Landon Dickerson not being there. Your run game is not destroyed, but it's severely dented and damaged. It completely is. I don't care who you think you are. You lose superstar talent like that. Okay? You lose superstar talent like that. That's what you're going to get. Only the usual fans takes Big Sil's word and runs with it. Whatever, guy. Sills is loving every minute of Dickerson's injury. If that's how you're reading this, once again, you must be new. Why would I want to cover a shit team? Barkley had over 700 yards running directly behind Dickerson. Sills, I agree on the fall off, but we don't need to be the best line in I'm not talking about preseason. You don't play the guys anyway. You don't play the guys anyway in preseason. Who gives a shit? I'm talking about the first 4 games. I'm not talking about preseason. Drama segment. I didn't create the drama. Dickerson got hurt. That's not drama. You've lost both offensive guards potentially. It's not drama. That's reality. Drama? Drama's making shit up. Reality is you lost both guards in your run game. There's no drama. So Matt Pryor and Tyler Steen versus Becton and Landon. You think that, like M. Reyes would say, no fall off. You actually do a disservice to Landon when you say that. No fall off. So let me guess. Matt Pryor, Tyler Steen are just as good. See, look, RC3 believes that'll work. Same thing. Tyler Steen, Matt Pryor, Becton, and Landon. No problem. Look how ridiculous and mental that is. Who doesn't hope this? Dude, that would be sensational. That would be wonderful if that guy's able to play. I'll tell you what, you help Dallas out with that injury. And hey, for the record, you can't count on this. Okay? Hate Sills, but come on, some of you in here are dumb at. Hey, dude, I know. They're trying to tell you and convince themselves that they're cool. M. Reyes. Jeff Stoutland can't play. Yo, Sills, if Dickerson is going to be out, should we continue to play as backup in preseason? Hell no. Get those organized team practices. Like this week is a dress. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the dress rehearsal for the season coming up against the Browns. There's only 3 preseason games, right? 3 preseason football games. This is a dress rehearsal. When was this? I remember the days when Sills wished injuries on our players. I have never wished an injury on any human being in my entire life. Okay? Drama queen. How is that a drama queen saying you have lost both your guards? Drama? It is drama. For you, not me. How are you not looking at the drama? Hey, brother, I'm okay with that. As a matter of fact, I appreciate you being here and I thank you. Who am I? My team hasn't won anything in 30 years, but I'd like to come to an Eagle chat to talk about how we're going to win this year. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Who are you talking about? Who am I? My team hasn't won anything in 30 years, but I'd like to come to an Eagles chat to talk. Oh, I know who it is. It's got to be, I know somebody in here who really loves the injury. That has to be Texas boy. That really? Well, I'll tell you what, dude. Anybody who wishes for an injury is a complete asshole. That is ridiculous that you would wish that. And the only reason why Texas boy would wish that shit is because he's a loser like his fucking loser team. That's why. I have no respect for people who wish injuries on people. Good grief. What a tool. Do you know how easy it would be for Eagle Guy to wish that Dak got hurt again? Do you know how easy that would be? They've never said that. I have never seen an Eagle fan wish Dak. You know what Eagle fan says? Eagle fan says Dak sucks and he can't win in the postseason. You know what Texas boy does? That's awesome he got hurt. There lies the difference in the two fan bases. One's a trash can fan base and the other one's actually a football fan base. What a stupid ass. Unbelievable. Sills, it's a huge fall off. Not only in the player skill set, but in the communication between guard and Mulatto. We're fortunate the team focuses on the offensive line. Absolutely true. Okay? Absolutely true. Sills, wait, according to Dak, I saw that ridiculous. Did you see this, guys? So Dak was at the damn game against the Rams, and he's saying, I'll see you in the NFC title game when you've never even made it out of the divisional game. Give me a break, guy. I mean, win a divisional game first before you start. Jalen's won 2 divisional games. More than the Cowboys have won in 30 years. I love Trevor Keegan pick. I do too, dude. Hey, Marshall, let me pull that back. I apologize for saying that to you because I do appreciate you being here. Okay? I apologize, dude. You got Big Sills taking a knee on that. Is that cool? I like you being in here, brother. So I don't listen. We're all emotional, man. I mean, so cool. All right. I mean, losing Landon Dickerson is huge. By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about what Fangio said over the weekend. Also, a little bit more of the offseason losses. We'll talk about some of the games that we saw too this weekend. I thought that was awesome that CeeDee Lamb got ran over. I posted it. I thought it was hilarious. You know who CeeDee Lamb looked like? He looked like Texas boy getting run over by Eagle fans in here. I thought that was hilarious. That was exactly like Eagle fans running Texas boy over. I don't pay you no damn mind, Sills. All good. Okay, good, man. We're good. It was Texas boy. That was Texas boy trying to get CeeDee Lamb's autograph. Or, I don't know, something else off him. It was really weird. I'm waiting to see this thing, Mag, because this could be, man, you're praying. Without a doubt, you're praying that this is not a long deal. The longer this goes on, guys, the longer this goes on, it's 2:30 back in Philly right now. The longer this goes on, the more I think this is. Let me leave it there because I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to say anything because I hate talking injuries. Says, how is Shiloh Sanders doing in Tampa? I think he's going to make the team. Also, that big guy they drafted. He's going to make the team, I think, Bruce. Appreciate you being a member. I think Shiloh's going to make that club. I do. You know what I would say, though, dude, to Texas guy? I would say this. Win a game. Win a game that matters. They would have announced if he's – no, they would not have. They would not have done that. What they would have done is they would have told you immediately he's okay. The longer it goes, the worse it is. That's not how that works. For Slater, it went on a day. They may release it tomorrow. So what's the recovery time for a hyperextension? It depends. It varies. Elbows, I've extended my elbow and my knee a bunch of times. It all varies. They're grades 1, 2, and 3. By the way, Dr. David Chow will be with us. That'll be at 5:30. So we'll ask him. That's a great question, bud. Make sure we ask that question to the doctor at 5:30. So Eagle fans made up a lie telling you that I wished injury on people so you could stop talking about the old line. See how fast it switched up? All right, man. I'll take your word at it. If you said that you wished an injury on somebody, okay. Nobody wishes injuries on anybody. You got to be a complete loser. J-Max says the longer it is, the better. But Big Sill says the opposite. Who do I believe? How about the guy who played? Exactly, Sills. I believe it's really bad. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. They're just looking for second and third opinions. Optimism went out the door by the reaction of his teammates. Now, look, it depends on what that is. A right leg injury, and I saw the same video that Dr. Chow saw. I couldn't make an assessment on anything. Is it a calf? Is it an ACL, MCL? Is it medial collateral? Is it patella tendon? It could be Achilles. If it's a calf, he's gone for a while. If he tore that thing. If he got a high ankle sprain, and for the record, I would rather have a break of my shin than a knee injury. So if he breaks his shin or there's a hairline fracture in his foot, take it. That's 6 weeks. And because he's young, that's probably 4 weeks. Take it. Remember, breaks are better than tears. You can come back in a season from a break. You break your arm, you're back in 7 weeks, 6 weeks. And today with the medicine, take the break. Don't take the tear. The tears, anything can happen. And usually when you tear something, I've torn both my knees. I've had 4 knee surgeries, 2 on my elbow, broke my jaw, and broke every single finger and broke my forearm. Okay? When you got a knee injury, when you have a knee and it's a scope, you could play that weekend. If he's got a slight tear, might not need surgery. You might have to just need rest. It's all going to determine on the level and the grade of injury. Okay? Remember that. It's going to determine that. This is going to be about the grade. I keep checking to see, too, to see if anybody's hearing anything, and I'm not hearing anything yet. They may release this tomorrow because they might want a second opinion on this, and then a third opinion. And the player might want a second opinion. This is right. Since it's the offseason, they don't have to report anything. Well, the Chargers reported that Slater was out. The Rams reported that Stafford was out with a bad back. Okay? So, I mean, I guess they don't. Most teams do. I don't know, Sills. I'm optimistic. He was able to bend his knee. Yeah, but wait a minute, Gabe. Let me ask you something. How many people remember the Carson Wentz injury? How many people in here remember the Carson Wentz injury? Do you guys remember that injury? He heard it, Prince. He heard it, and then what did he do after? He threw a touchdown pass and then walked off the field or was carried off the field or what have you at the LA Coliseum, right? He finished the series. And then he was out and he walked off and he walked into the offseason with a torn knee, right? Okay, well, so hang in there. Nobody wishes injuries. But it does affect your football team. But I do like what Bob Brown said. Next guy up. I feel better about next guy up in Philly than any other. How about this? I'll take one off of Bob Brown here. I feel better about the next man up mentality in Philly than any other football team in the NFL because of the way the coach coaches his players. Is that fair? You're not going to have the same talent. Landon Dickerson is one of the absolutely best guards in all of football. Becton was one of the greatest stories in football a year ago. Right? If it isn't today, it'll be on the IR report tomorrow for practice. Yeah, but they could hide it too in numerous ways. Still being evaluated. Prince is right. Kobe tore his Achilles. And I think he had a jump shot or something after that. Yeah, I thought he was carried off. I mean, the video I saw, I thought he was carried off. Look, it's not so much losing Dickerson. It's losing both your guards is my concern. How many people believe that affects your run game? And what does that mean to Hurts? You put more stress on Barkley now, right? A guy who had 450 plus carries, not having the same O-line that he did a year ago that was iconic. How about this, senor? More RPOs. What do you think? More RPOs? I like that idea. I think Senor just gave us a great topic here. How in the world would you compensate for the loss of Landon? How would you compensate for that? Again, I don't want to sound too premature here. Okay? I don't want to go. And I don't want anybody jumping the gun yet. How would you compensate for the loss of Landon Dickerson? What does Jalen have to do? Hurts throwing more is good. Over 30 passes, great stats. Not true. He threw for over 30 in the first 4, and they took it out of his hands. Not true. Abe, that's if they don't call man down the field flags on us. The refs don't like it when they do the RPOs. Man, that was really a great take, Abe, because that's the case. How many times did Landon Dickerson himself get called for downfield and all that? Absolutely. That's a great take by you. Seals, that's my point. We saw it on Thursday. The backup offensive line dominated against the first team defense. It's the Bengals, man. Yes, we'll miss Dickerson, but as long as it's not the left tackle, I'm good. So, Prince, you think losing both your guards you're all right with that? I'm not talking one guy. I'm talking both of them. After seeing Barkley all these years in New York, I don't think it affects the run game one bit. Just me, though. So wait a minute. Big Marshall. Did Saquon Barkley have a good O-line in football in New York? I think your center's great. I think your two guards now will not be great. If it's Steen and Pryor or whomever, I'm sorry. You're not going to get the same level of football you got last year or even the last 3 years. I do not believe that. Matt Pryor, he's getting worked in practice. Okay? Steen can play. Then why didn't he win the job last year if he couldn't play? Well, why didn't he win the job? Becton was considered a flop. Why didn't he win the job? Sky is falling? No. You lost both your guards. In a team that ran the ball the best of anybody maybe in NFL history on the way to a Super Bowl. What do you mean sky is falling? We're talking about what happened Sunday. Nobody said you're not going to be still a good football team. You're the only one acting like a jerk off. Schefter said it's meniscus bruising. Let's see there. Eagles Pro Bowl Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus, that's MCL, to his right knee per source. Dickerson is getting additional, well, meniscus is MCL. And by the way, we'll have an actual doctor on at 5:30. That's a meniscus tear. If that's a tear, that's MCL. That's medial collateral. That's, dude. Here, let's go here. Let me send this to Dr. Chow. A meniscus tear can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months to heal, depending on the severity and treatment of the approach. Minor tears treated conservatively may heal within a few weeks with rest and ice. Physical therapy and more severe tears, especially those requiring surgery, may take 3 to 6 months. So now that's what you're waiting for, the severity of it. Okay? So that's where I don't think that's season ending. Yeah, but wait, Hollywood. You've got to wait and see what the ramifications are if it's long-term or short-term. If I were you, I would wait until that's determined. If it's long-term, it is 6 months. If it's short-term, it's about a month. Seals long-term versus short-term. Short-term experienced player prior to get us through a game or 3. Long-term, the best skill set player, regardless of the position, to handle the long haul. Okay? I don't believe it's season. I'm not going to play that. I'll ask Dr. Chow at 5:30. Okay? I'll read it again to you guys. A meniscus tear can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months, depending on the severity of the treatment approach. Minor tears treated conservatively may heal within a few weeks with rest and ice. Physical therapy and more severe tears could take up to 3 to 6 months, with even longer recovery. Minor tears often respond well to ice, evaluation, elevation, meniscus, removal of the damaged meniscus, typically leading to a faster recovery to 4 to 6 weeks to return to full activity. Meniscus repair involves suturing the torn meniscus, requiring a longer recovery that is 3 to 6 months. You have to wait and see. Okay? That's right. There's no clarity on it yet. So you're going to have to wait and still see what the severity is. So there's no clarity. It's a meniscus tear. Or not. Right. Sil's thankful it's an MCL and not an ACL. Well, hopefully it's the minor. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Depends on the tear and the severity of it. Landon is still looking at more options, so we should get another update in a few days, maybe a few hours. Take my knee, Landon. Khalid, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. No, it's not ideal. However, severity will be the key here. Dude, you can have a slightly torn meniscus and still play. It's going to be painful, but what you don't want to do is, that's a type of injury where it could become severe. Dude, ACL is the worst. You do not want ACL. He's going to be out a while. These clowns don't understand a man of his size is going to be way out of shape mid-season if he's lucky. Yeah, because you can't get on a bike. Okay? That's right. It's very vague. Okay? This is very vague. I'll read Adam Schefter again. Eagles Pro Bowl guard. Someone released this. Just so you know, someone released it. Eagles Pro Bowl Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee. Okay, so it's the knee. Dickerson is getting additional opinions to determine the next course of action and how long it might be sidelined. That's as vague as you can get. And that is released that way. That is you release it that way because you want to be able to not be committed to if it is a longer extended period of time, because you don't know how rehab comes and goes, especially with a guy of that size. Will he have shots every day this season now for pain? Again, guys, this is all going to come down to the severity. Okay? MCL is worse than meniscus. ACL, MCL, meniscus. What's the other one? Patella injury. Trying to think of another one. What you don't want is muscles torn, like Achilles, and like I told you, I'd rather have my shin broken. So the MCL is a ligament on the inner side of the knee, providing stability. I'll show it to you here. Okay. You see, this is how your knee is. This is your knee. Right here, the circle here. And the MCL goes across it, right there, and the ACL goes in front of it. It keeps your knee intact. Okay? It's like a cross. And there are tendons that go in front of your knee and on the side. I've had 4 surgeries on them. There you go. Did I write that right? Yes. See? And that's right. Right here. The medial collateral, and there's the meniscus. You see that under there? That stabilizes the knee. So that when you do this, watch. Here's what the meniscus is. Your knee goes like this, and the stuff on top of the knee is your meniscus. And it just depends on how torn that is. Okay? So your knee goes like this. Look, here's your knee. For you to get your leg, okay? That's exactly how it works. You see, what you don't want to hurt is this. Right here, the LCL, the ACL, the patella, that in the middle there, that's a devastating. The meniscus is probably... See, those are the plates underneath the knee that give you the cushion. He'll be in a ton of pain, depending on what the severity of the injury is. Now, again, to what Xander's doing here and showing you this is great. Now you have a visual on it. That MCL there, that is MCL, ACL, you don't want that. That's season ending. The meniscus, I don't believe that is. Now, I'm going to wait till Dr. Chow comes on, and we'll bring that same diagram up when he comes on the program. Yeah, Wentz toward his ACL, PCL. That devastating injury. It's completely. Okay? Depending on the zone of the meniscus tear, Landon Dickerson could potentially have 2 options. Cleanup that could have him back in 4 weeks, 2 weeks meniscus repair, season ending. Again, like I said, you have to wait until it's released before you know what the severity is. Not going to play a doctor here until we hear. My problem would be the first 4 weeks of the season, Man, you got some big-time ball games in that first four. One thing no one is talking about, what was the knee surgery Landon had earlier in the offseason? Was that meniscus as well? I don't remember that, but you're right, because I do remember him having some type of was it a cleanup that he had earlier in the year? If Dickerson was a professional jump roper, it might have impact. I don't know what you're talking about, guy. I'm talking about a football injury, not jumping rope. Speaking as a nurse, if that meniscus is damaged to the point where it's bone on bone, he'll be in pretty bad pain, and I doubt he plays. I know guys who don't have that in play. I know guys who don't have that. I know guys who have played and don't have their meniscus any longer. Okay? I do. You got meniscus also in your elbows. I guarantee you that thing must have swollen like a grapefruit. And then you know what they do? They go in. My wife has seen it. They take a needle and they take this pus out. And dude, it is not a good procedure. Now, it's a pain in the ass. I used to get them done on my elbows. I used to break my meniscuses on my elbows. It swells. And they take a needle and they actually drain it. Jeff Stoutland is made for these moments. Okay? Well, he'll be called upon. Landon's knee's been bad, no secret. Continual injuries, too, does play a factor here. Repetitive knee injuries, I mean, you disintegrate the knee and the meniscus and the wear on the bone like that. Seals, knowing Dickerson, he is likely putting a brace on it and playing, which is why but what you don't want to do is, if that thing becomes a bigger tear and you start tearing your knee up, what's the point? I need that guy for the next 7 years, not the 2025 season. Ask yourself, would you rather have him for the next 7 years? Or do you want to really play him and risk that? And risk that guy having catastrophic knee injuries and then getting him less over the next 3 years? Me, I want that guy for the next 7 years. I'm not looking at that guy just to go out there, blow the fucking thing up in 2025, and all of a sudden it shortened his career because they rushed him back. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not looking for that. And I think the Eagles do a really nice job of protecting their players. Bring back Dickerson at the end of the year if he's good. My question again is those first 4 games. Those first 4 games are going to be, you're going to need him. You're going to need him to run the ball. Sills, ask Dr. Chow, one treatment for a meniscus is to shave those edges of the tear rather than suture the tear together. I believe shaving those pieces is quicker recovery. Hey, Bob, I had this surgery done to me. I was playing against the Cardinals. My knee was clicking. Okay? My knee was clicking. Xander, bring that thing up again. I'll show you what happened to me. Bring that diagram up if you could. That red part on the bottom, not the top stuff, on the sides. I hurt that meniscus. Okay? And I'll show you what I had this injury. Wait, a type of it. I had a surgery on Tuesday. They shaved it down. I played that Sunday. Okay? Thanks, Xander. So if it is minor, he could play the opener. If it's severe and there's a crack going down it, that's what they explained to me. Actually, I went in, I watched it. I was the Bucks took me in on a Tuesday, and a doctor, what was his name? Dr. Diaco. Dr. Diaco did my left knee, and then Lennox Hill Dr. Andrews did my right knee. Yeah, the famous Dr. Andrews did my other knee. I went up to Lenox Hill in New York and had my other knee done at Lenox Hill, and I had my other knee done in Tampa with Dr. Diaco. And they were meniscus. So I've had this injury. Mine was not severe. I could play. There was a clicking. Click, 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 click. They went in and shaved it, and they shaved it down. I played with a knee brace that Sunday. I heard them both in the NFL. Landon and Becton both gone, changed the bully dynamic. We're still going to play physical brand of football, but it's going to be more of a battle. That right there is probably the smartest take so far. That's right. I got bone spurs in my knees and in my feet like you wouldn't believe. They stick out of my feet from all the bone spurs I've had and out of the sides of my knee. I got bone spurs everywhere. And it's just from the calcium being built up. They break off. The calcium deposits will break off because your body's trying to heal. And you'll see them along the sides of your knees, your ankles, down under your feet, on the sides of your feet. I got them everywhere. I must have 10 of them on my feet. I got horrible feet. And it hurts my back. It's one of the reasons why I can't lose weight. Is because when I start walking, and plus it's giving me arthritis. When I start walking, those bone spurs move around, catastrophic knee injuries or catastrophic pain. It's very painful. One thing I've noticed over the years, Stoutland has great success with managing replacement for interior offensive linemen. When it's left tackle and right tackle, we struggle. I think the majority of the success of the football team was up the middle, not off tackle. Maybe off tackle. He ran a lot behind Landon Dickerson, though. Okay? I have orthopedics in my shoes. I mean, I can't wear shoes any longer. I mean, like hard shoes? No way. Let's just say this. My days of wearing high heels are over. Okay? That's not happening. Sorry to hear that. Hey, Jack, yeah, well, I'd do it again. It's all part of it. It's all good. Correct, Sills. At clicking now, we're on the same page. Dickerson will not miss a snap. It's not a paper cut. That's not true. I'm not on the same page with you. That is not a paper cut for a guy who's had sustained knee injuries for the last 4 years. That's not a paper cut, dude. Says, am I a cupcake? No, I like eating cupcakes. I think he's getting more opinions and asking more options due to the history of his knee issues. That's exactly right, Dro. That's exactly correct. Okay? I think all of us are on the same page here. Okay? Probably tomorrow. Could be later in the day. Could be later today. Definitely on the size comment. Funny thing is that the arthritis in the knee doesn't make the knee hurt. It makes my hamstring hurt. If I walk for a while because the support, absolutely, Slagger, your back starts hurting too. And then you start getting your sciatic nerve starts pounding, doesn't it? Slagger, you probably have sciatic nerve issues too. Right? I have sciatic nerve issues in both my legs. It's just because I've broken both my feet. I've broken my feet and I've blew my calf out. So, I mean, yes. And so it makes it difficult, just what it is. Let's go back on to him. Sills, do you think would have to step up for Landon? Kenyon Green is not having I don't believe that guy's good at all. Okay, I do not. I think it's going to be Matt Pryor or Trevor Keegan or one of the young guys. Ugh. I had nothing else to say. I bring tear to your eyes. She says, remember Dickerson in the championship game? Absolutely. Okay? Green is green. Landon is an all-pro playing out of position, which is insane, but yes. I tell you, man, I've had a lot of pain in my life. The sciatic nerve pain because of my feet. I mean, listen, guys, just to show you what Landon's facing when he gets older. If I had to go and get surgeries right now, I'd have to have my feet surgery. I'd have to have my calf fixed. I'd have to go and get cut on my left knee. I'd have to have my lower back checked. I'd have to have a repair on both my triceps. Adoree Jackson and Ringo are ass. Who was training to play center? I think Kendall. Marshall, I think Kendall's the guy. Is playing center. I think that's your backup. I hope the front office learned a valuable lesson this offseason about letting too many guys. You know what? Let's get to that topic. By the way, guys, Xander will join us at 3:30. I'm not sure we're going to get Gary Cobb. I hope we do. Cobb's at a golf tournament, but Dr. Chow will be with us. That'll be at 5:30. Let's get to that topic. Guys, too many offseason moves? Too many offseason moves, do you think? You're trying to find the replacements for. I'm going to make a prediction here on Landon. I don't think it's season ending. If it's season ending, man, that's terrible. But I don't believe it is. I think it's going to be about 5 weeks. 4 weeks. Okay? So in those first 4 games, 5 games, you've got, let's see, help me out here and correct me if I'm wrong. Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, and then you got the Broncos. Is that right? Broncos are the 5th game? Broncos are going to be a rough game. I think the Broncos have a great chance of being a number 1 overall, right? 5 weeks from now, no. I think there's a chance he could miss 5 ball games. Should have kept Becton. Should have kept Becton. See, that's a great topic, Forrest. Of all the guys that they let loose, who should they have kept? Give me 3 guys like Forrest here. They let go Milton, Josh, CJ, Oren, Rogers, Slay, Becton, guys injured, and Dean, and potentially here, Landon. Xander, I missed, I think, Big Marshall super chat there. He dropped one in on us here. If we could put him up there. To be fair, they drafted young guys at those positions, guard and corner, that should be ready to go in Ringo and Keegan. So that means you're talking about playing rookies in veteran positions with no experience and never starting. Something that we talked about. Yes, we got this. It's all going to be on the severity of it, on how long the meniscus injury is going to be. Meniscus could be between 4 to 6 months or 4 weeks. This is going to come down to severity. And he didn't finish off, too, John Clark's tweet as well, which is they're getting second opinions on this. If it's serious, could you see Juergens going back to guard and putting a younger guy at center? No, I want Juergens playing center. As I've said before, I would say this: left tackle, center, right tackle, left guard, right guard, when it comes to the importance of the positions in the offensive line. You could even switch up that left guard's important. Seals, we lost Mulata for 4 weeks last year, and we found a way to go on to a 10-game win streak. I have faith in this team to figure it out. Yeah, but you didn't lose 2 offensive linemen at one time for that significant period of time. You didn't lose Mulata and Lane for 4 weeks. You're going to be starting the season potentially without your 2 guards, Becton and Dickerson. See, it's not so much that if it was just Dickerson and Becton was back, I think you get away with that. Even though Juergens being injured, I think you get away with that. I think having lost both of them, I think that's a problem. And your centers hasn't practiced really a lot. And they've got him kind of on a pitch count. By the way, I'll ask Dr. Chow that at 5:30 as well about Cam's back injury. Here's Philly 500. I take the news as actually hopeful. Most likely, he'll be back at some point unless it's real serious. Philly, what I've been telling people is this is going to come down to the severity. He's either going to miss a couple weeks or he's going to miss 4 to 6 months. It all depends on the tear. Or if it's slightly torn, remember, there's grades. Grade 1, 2, 3, like in concussions. I've had these surgeries. I've had meniscus surgeries. Hey, Philly, I had a meniscus surgery. I had it on Tuesday, and I played Saturday or Sunday. So it could be like that. My guess is that the team has told him it's 4 weeks. He wants a second opinion to try to get out there quicker. How about that, guys? Does that make sense? I think the team. Now, this is an opinion. I am not a doctor. But if that were me, okay, Philly. Now, Pump is going to probably, I haven't read it. Pump, go with me here. The team probably told him it's going to be longer because they're going to side on safety for the player. Landon's probably like, fuck that. I want to play. Like, fellas, I want to wish too, but we know Landon has a tear of some kind. Why else would they seek a second opinion on a bruise? They wouldn't. It's the severity of the tear, whether it's severe or not. You're right, Pump. Do you see this injury cause us to run less and throw more? I think this, like what somebody said earlier, I could see Jalen Hurts running more. Knee surgery isn't hopeful. When do the actual surgery? Is only when you know the severity of it. I had surgery and played in 4 days. Okay? And I was not going to, they bandaged me up. I went out and I fucking said, I'm not taking any time off. I got hurt in St. Louis playing against the Cardinals. Was it? I got hurt playing against the Cardinals. And then I played that weekend on turf. Mind you, in Minnesota, at the old Hubert Humphrey Dome. They didn't want to play. You know, I'll take that back. It may have been against the Bears. because it was on grass. I think they felt better about me playing on grass than going on the turf, if I remember right. I heard it on turf. She says, I don't think, I had another surgery in college when I was my freshman year. I hurt myself at Maryland, actually, my freshman year. And I was at Lenox Hill Hospital again. I actually wore a Lenox Hill brace. Then I said, screw it. This thing's too heavy. I'm not wearing them. She says, I don't think they need a second opinion if it's 4 weeks. Again, you guys are really thinking smart here. That would be an amazing scenario if he's out like one game. It must have been worse than that. I agree. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. No way. Not me. That's like danger zone for me. I don't like doing that. But you're not wrong, Curtis. You don't get second opinions on bruises. And you don't get second opinions unless there's a tear. And you don't get second opinions unless you don't like what the team's telling you. That's my takeaway. My takeaway is Landon doesn't like what he's being told. The team wants to hold him out. I don't think the team's telling him it's season ending. But I think they're telling him, hey, this is 4 to 6. He's like, no fucking way. If I could play with a second opinion, he's going to play on the second opinion. Then you're going to have kind of a fight there with that. Second opinion means operation. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to put this into perspective for you. So Tristan Wirfs, I have been all over the Bucs for their mishandling and misdiagnosing him. Here's what happened with him, okay? So then you can make, and you can put this assessment on how you feel the Bucs handled it versus how you think the Eagles should handle Landon Dickerson, okay? Follow me. So all throughout the offseason, he was rolling towards being in spring. All the camp, he didn't practice. They put him in a knee brace, right? Todd Bowles kept coming out going, oh, he'll be ready for training camp. Okay. On July 8th, they put him under the knife, and I went, what the fuck, man? And it was reported that the player thought rest would give him the ability to be able to have that without surgery. July 8th, they had surgery, and he's probably going to miss the first 3 weeks of the season. So they misdiagnosed it, knowing full well that they needed to do surgery. Okay? So let's fast forward to Landon here. I think this is what's happened. Landon was told today. Let me see. Let me double check. Anything else come out of it? I was told today, probably Landon was told today, hey, look, you've torn your meniscus. Pretty good. It's 4 to 6. And we're probably going to have a surgery. Landon's like, no way. You missed those first 4 games. Now you're talking about putting Detroit, the Rams, Washington, all of those teams in a position where they can win home field advantage. Those first 4 games, you've got 2 stretches in your schedule, in the middle of it and at the beginning of it, which I think can dictate, and maybe the end a little bit with those Washington games, where you really have a pretty interesting part of the schedule. And now what's happened? Now you add Dickerson to the conversation. This was my premise starting out, is that, man, there's a lot of guys off this team from that Super Bowl team now. 2 guards, 2 D linemen, 2 secondary guys, backup guys. I heard Vic over the weekend talk about this Bennett guy. He's going to compete for the corner job. How many days until September 4th? You're still talking about figuring out a corner? You had your corners pretty much solidified a year ago. Q's never not started. I don't ever remember Q not being back there. Right? That was from day one. I don't think you're cooked. That's not what I'm saying. Howie Roseman cared more about 26 and 27. Remember those topics we were bringing up? that you guys just thought we were bringing up topics. It's a lot of guys off that football team. And you hear what Vic said also over the weekend? We got to find guys who are going to be backups. Nobody's really stepped up yet. That is what he said. I'll go more over what Vic said. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. I hope we're getting somewhere. Again, that's an opinion on what I think Dickerson was told today. I think Dickerson was told, listen, you're going to be out 4 to 6 with this tear. He said, no way. You don't get second opinions on bruises or slight tears. You get second opinions on not wanting surgery. That's what Tristan Wirfs did. He didn't want surgery. So he got a second opinion, and they diagnosed it wrong. That's why he went under the knife July 8th. And why he's on the PUP right now. Because he got a second opinion that wasn't correct. Sills, it comes back to what you said last week. Is the depth strong enough for an injury like this? It's not that they're not. It's that it's a bunch of guys now. It's a big, like I said, is everybody replaceable in the NFL? Absolutely. Are 7 guys in 7 months? What is it? February, January, March, April, May, June, July, August. 8 months. 8 months you lost 7 starters. I don't know. That's quite a bit. I think Philly's on. I 4 to 6 weeks or months. I think that's probably right. Okay? I think that's right. Process of what? Recovery? Injuries? Losing great players? Get this. Once again, to go back what M. Reyes kept saying the entire offseason, replacing Becton and Landon Dickerson, in his opinion, Pryor and Steen are just as good. Replacing Josh Sweat and Milton Williams with Moro Ojomo and Jalix Hunt are just as good to him. Replacing Gardner Johnson and Slay and having Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo are just as good. That's what his contention is, which is insane. And it's all at once. These are not spread out. And you got to figure out the backups. What a terrible start to the season. I'm not there. I'm not there with that. Terrible start to the season. I want to see what it looks like before you make a comment like that. One thing I do trust how the Eagles prepare for this. I'm not there for that. I'm not going down there. Terrible start to the season. Injuries happen to everybody. Look at what the Chargers have to do. They have to deal with the loss of Slater, their left offensive tackle. They can't just wave the white flag and say the season's over. You can't. I mean, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out, you got to figure it out. So I know every team has issues, but the Eagles medical staff does not have the best record. Second opinion might just be warranted no matter what. I do not like how the Bucs handled Tristan Wirfs. I made it very clear publicly. I think they really hurt themselves by not having him diagnosed early. He had the entire offseason. That what you saw on Sunday with Landon Dickerson, that's a freak thing, dude. You can't constitute that. You really can't. You really can't count on something like that happening. He could walk off the field and blow his knee out. That's basically kind of what it was. All right? Philly's new medical staff is the best in the league. 3 years ago, you'd have a point. Dude, what I'll say to you about the Philadelphia medical staff, how I see them, I don't know about you, man, but they're always healthy. So I'm not going to say that they're bad. I mean, how can you say that when every year pretty much you got 90% of the guys on the field in the 17th game of the year? I just don't I don't subscribe to that. That can't be. Your facilities may not be up to snuff, but I can't believe that you spend that kind of money in the offensive line for $20, $35 million players and a $50 million quarterback, and you're going to treat that guy like shit with a guy who works at some health clinic. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think the Eagles are in that conversation. Now, there are some teams in the past that have been like that. Guys, please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys here today. A terrible start, Sills. Landon's injury. Angel Reese Brown's baked hamstrings. Tough schedule. The quarterback is throw multiple picks every practice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. They're the Super Bowl champions, man. They get some latitude with me on that. Listen to me talking. You get the benefit of the doubt. Why do you think fucking Xander can talk shit to me every single day when it talks about his team? Because you know what he can always fire back at? They're the champs. Until further notice, that's right. They get the benefit of that. Because if they didn't, all bets are off again. Okay? Yeah, that's always mattered with me getting fired multiple times with people who pay me. Jason, I know you're kidding, but that's never been a factor in my career, has it? I wouldn't think anybody would say because people pay me, I'm not going to say my thoughts, because I have been fired for my thoughts, whether you pay me or not. I mean, if I was concerned about getting paid and not having hard takes, I would never have been fired. I would have been an ass kisser, like over at Producer Radio 97.5, The Fanatic. You got to love their deal. Lee Sander hires host. The Fanatic elevates producers. This isn't a producer network. We put the best people on the planet on this network for a reason. By the way, we got a big list. We got Jim Kelly this week. The legendary Jim Kelly. Howard Eskin will join us Wednesday. Dr. Chow at 5:30. Somebody else is going to join us this week too. Oh yeah, Goldberg is going to step in with us. I mean, yeah, we don't ass kissing. If I worried about that, I'd never been fired. I tell you one thing about Chip Kelly. I saw an article over the weekend. Shady McCoy's got to let it go, dude. You're Shady McCoy. Act like it. And what he doesn't like about is the way he was treated. I get it. But bro, 2 years later, they won the Super Bowl. They did not need you. And that's the problem. He didn't win a Super Bowl in Philly. Chip wasn't wrong. Chip was wrong in the way he did it. Every guy's replaceable. They did not need him to win a Super Bowl, did they? No. Did they treat him right? No. Both things can be true. Okay? I mean, both things can be true. Joey Diaz, I've never heard of him. Sills, I found my dad's Super Bowl tickets from Super Bowl 26, Bills and Skins. Wow. That's pretty dope, man. Like it. You should post that and send it to my X account at Dan Sileo Show, and I'll show Jim Kelly that thing. Chip had a Super Bowl ready team and said, nah, F that. Okay, well, they won a Super Bowl 2 years later without Shady. Sills, can't say that didn't eat him up inside. Yes, I get it. I'm not telling you that Shady shouldn't have a bitch against that guy and how he was treated and who he was traded for. I'm not telling you. But let it go, guy. You're fucking Shady McCoy. And the way Sproles dislikes Wentz is interesting too. Yeah, I mean, get over it. Let that shit go, man. You're Darren Sproles. Carson Wentz is a footnote in Eagle history. Let that shit go. All right? Jason Peters was on the team last year. I doubt he played at all. Was he on that Bills team? I thought he was on that Bills team late in the season. Yeah, we'll do Battle Royale this week. I got Howard Eskin at 4. I'll move Howard around. See if we can make that happen on Wednesday again. We didn't do it last week. Shady has 2 rings, not in Philly. And he was a non-factor in those 2 Super Bowl rings, Bucks and KC. Non-factor. What's the timetable on Dickerson? Again, Anthony, this is going to come down to the severity of it. Okay, this is going to come down to if it's like what Philly 500 said. This thing's going to come down to either 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 months. Okay? Jeffrey Lurie paid a racist then. He got 0 burn en route to the ring. Yeah. Wentz knew his ACL was torn and played the last play. Yes. If it's a complete, they're not saying that. They're saying it's meniscus. I think, to some people's point, I don't think that's. Here's Dr. Chow. Just posted this. Meniscus, trim. This is what I had. 6 weeks. Meniscus, repair, tear. 4-6 months. J.J. McCarthy. That's what he had. Season ending. Treatment depends on the type of tear. I've been telling you this. Door is open for not season-ending injury. He is coming on with us. Okay? He is coming on with us at 5:30. This is exactly what I've been telling you. Let me put this up here. JAKIB at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. There we go. So we just put that out there and we just. So again, let me read it to you. Meniscus trim. Now remember, I had a meniscus trim and I played that weekend. It was just trim. It was, my knee was clicking and I played. Hurt like hell. But you suck that shit up, Vicodins and what else? Percocets, all that shit. You know, I had to take a shot. I took a cortisone shot for that so I could play. I took a cortisone, Percocets, Percodans, and I played after having surgery Tuesday, and I played that Sunday. Okay? This is exactly correct here. Okay? This is exactly correct. Meniscus repair, 4 to 6 months. This is all going to come down to the severity of the tear. No doubt about it. Must give him the same drugs that made Jalen talk about football in the snow. Kelsey's 1 year removed from Kelsey's done. I don't want anything to do with Kelsey. Oh, you're talking about moving Kelsey in to play center and then Cam to play guard. Whew. I'm not interested in that. If you're scared, go get a dog. These players know injury is part of it. Next man up. You're not wrong. Wow, Seals, you were really tackling people on cloud nine with all those drugs. I'll tell you this, Prince. By the end of the season, I felt like I was the biggest drug addict on the planet. Prince, I'll tell you what it felt like. Okay? You know how you swim in a swimming pool or a lake too long and you have that cloudy? After the season, I had cloudy, my eyes were cloudy. I had cloudy vision. I had taken Percocets, Percodans, Vicodins, cortisone shots so that I could play. And they were cloud. I mean, it was like it took me, I felt like it took me 5 weeks just to clean out. I mean, I didn't know what I was taking. I trusted them. Glass eyes. Yeah, it was like glass eyes. You're like this. You think you're seeing shadows and shit. Big Sills played when a soft tissue injury was considered a player being soft. Sills played through it. Had to. It was $25,000 a week. I'm not missing that. 25 grand a week in 1987. You think I'm going to miss it? Getting my meniscus shaved? Fuck that. I'm playing. I'm not missing football. That'd be great. Yeah. Me? How about guys who played 20 years? Okay. Dan was selling those to Michael Irvin. Mike was doing harder things than I was. I was a lightweight. Welcome to Philly, dog. MFer. We are not all sunshine and rainbows. How you doing, Brian? Right. Dude, my grandpa goes like this to me. He goes like this. He goes, "You have surgery." I remember I walked in with crutches, and Dr. Diaco did my surgery. He let me watch. Honest to God, they put me kind of out. I'm looking up and I'm watching on the thing, and they're doing it. They've got the scope on my knee, and you could see them shaving my meniscus. I'm watching it, and I'm watching them do this shit on my knee, and I'm drowsy. I'm half in and out. And after it, I had crutches. I walked out on crutches, and I played that Sunday. I played that Sunday against the Bears. I'm not missing 25 grand. You go on IR? No way, man. You don't get that money. I was like, yeah. And plus, I didn't want to miss football. Why always he out there at the end of practice? Dude, he could have. That kind of injury, man, that kind of injury you can't account for. In other news, Dart looked legit. Boy, did he ever, man. Hey, I'll make this point to you. Jackson Dart and Tanner McKee had a better weekend than Shedeur Sanders did. I don't see no columns written about them dudes. I mean, those guys outplayed him, and they were better. Shit, the guy down in Tampa, Kyle Trask, played better. Y'all don't understand. You don't feel anything. Absolutely not. My knee feels great. How you doing? Then you lay in bed. This is what happens to you, Prince, when those things start wearing off. Oh. Then you throw up a little bit and you're ready to rock. Give me my pills. You guys should watch North Dallas 40. Sills, is it going today? Is it going today? Is there any news on Dickerson? Yeah, good. Well, we know a little bit more. I wish I was a lightweight on perks. After wisdom tooth, I was hooked. Several surgeries after and kept the cycle going. Jace, that's a tough thing to get off of, man. I won't lie to you. And I feel for you, man. Honest to God, you just start taking these. You want to hear something really even sad? They don't do this anymore, I don't believe. Every day in my locker, in these little manila envelopes, little tiny manila envelopes, be Percocets, Perconans, Vicodins. All of us had them in our pockets like they were gummy bears. Just popping them, drinking beers. Every day. Guys had concussions. Nobody knew. How would you know? You're doped up. I mean, how would you know? Now, I think they take care of the players a lot better today. I really do. I think they take care of the players. You know what? You know who and why the hate on Shador? Kind of used to it. I don't give a shit about his last name. I care if he can play. I really don't care about that. And it sounds like fun back then. No wonder Jerry played for 20 years. Cowboys trying to trade wide receiver Jalen Tolbert. Go get him, Eagles. Why would the Eagles want something like that? There's nobody on the Cowboys that you have outside of potentially Michael Parsons that the Eagles would want on that roster. Can I tell you this? I bet you Xander agrees. The Eagles would much rather trade with the Texas Longhorns than they would with the Dallas Cowboys for that shit roster of yours. I mean, I'd rather go get me some Texas Longhorns than some of those Cowboy guys that you got on that team. Hey, dude, Darius Cooper is better than that guy Tolbert. That's Xander's new boy. Darius Cooper. I'll tell you, that was pretty cool shit yesterday, though. 60. Did they get a count? Did they get a count on how many people were at Lincoln Financial yesterday on Sunday? Was it 60? Oh, cow. All right, guys. All good. Let's see. Here we go. Here, check this out. The newest Eagle, Jacorian Bennett, got some first-team reps last night toward the end of practice. Oh, my God. So the new dude off the street got first-team reps. How you doing? Oh, I did see that 70-yard field goal. Holy shit. All right. What a day, man. Without further ado, guy was working all weekend long, doing a great job. He is my boy from Birds 365. Big Z. Xander Krauss joins us now. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you living, brother?
Doing good, man. Before we get into the news of the day, obviously, what'd you make of that? 60K out there at Lincoln Financial.
Pretty amazing, man. I said this last night when I was live on the show. I'm like, I don't know another city that would have that many, that show up, that loud, that excited. I mean, Jalen Hurts getting ovations like he's in the freaking Super Bowl, and it's an August 10th practice. Not many can do that. And the other thing is, Sills, that's the reason that JAKIB Sports freaking exists, is the people in those stands, because you can't do a show and talk about the Tennessee Titans all year round. You can't do a show about 28 out of 31 teams in the league, I would say, and talk about them year round. And not only talk about them, but actually have viewers, actually have people that are joining the conversation. So it's pretty amazing. And I love seeing it and just kind of, putting that light on it, obviously, because of what I do. I'm clouded, but it is an amazing fan base, man. It was cool to see.
How about my boy QB1, Tanner McKee? You see my boy out there, man?
QB1, Tanner McKee.
Hey, my boy.
Apparently, he had a shit practice.
Hey, get this too, man. You know what? Future QB. How about this? Future QB1. That don't mean in Philly, but future QB1 one day in the NFL. Maybe. Hey, I thought he played pretty damn well in this exhibition game. I thought he was better than.
He definitely had a good exhibition, no doubt. I think he was the highest graded quarterback in the Week 1 preseasons. Yeah, so he had a good exhibition.
All right, man.
Keyword, exhibition.
No, I got it, but that's all he has right now.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What'd you make of the news, man, about Landon Dickerson? Give me your takeaway without polluting any kind of take by adding anything into it. Just your quick takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, you see a guy go down like that, and I'm not saying that you hang up the cleats, but this is a fundamental change, especially in the way the team won last year. Like I've been pushing back on you all summer about you talking about the defensive changes. And I hold true that, well, in my eyes, the core of the defense, Quinyon and Coop, Zach Bond, Jalen Carter, Jordan David, much of the core is returning. So even with new pieces, you might be able to do the same thing. You might not be as good, but you're going to be able to do the same style. You talk about losing Mekhi Becton and Landon Dickerson and think that this team is going to be able to win the Super Bowl the same way they won it last year. I think you're smoking crack. You're just not. You're going to have to throw the ball more. It's going to look a whole lot different. And you lose a player like that. Look, this is a three-time Pro Bowl player. So this is one of the best left guards in all of football.
Top three.
Top three. And on his best day, he's top one. All right. And he has a lot of good days. So losing him is no small thing. Now, he is very tough. I'm somewhat optimistic based on the reports we've gotten. Meniscus is better than ACL, MCL, PCL,
no doubt.
LCL, whatever all those other ones are. We looked at that graph on the show, and I'm optimistic that he'll be able to get back out there. But if for whatever reason he can't, I think this is immediately the biggest problem on the football team and the biggest hurdle to overcome this year. Doesn't mean they can't do it, but it certainly lessens your odds of being put in a position to go back and repeat and run the tape and be the best team in the NFC and take everybody down. So you got to talk about it honestly. This is the biggest loss. This is a much bigger loss than any of the guys I think we lost on defense if we lose this guy for the season. And it's going to be tough to overdo. It also will, what else it will do, Sills, is it will put a little bit more pressure on Tyler Steen. It's one thing to come in and replace one guy on a 5-man unit. You lose another guy, your Cam Jurgens' job is now harder. He's got to deal with both new pieces. Jordan Mailata's job is a little bit harder because he's dealing with the new left guard. Lane Johnson's job is harder because he's dealing with the new right guard. All of those different pieces don't flow together as easily, and it's definitely a harder thing to overcome, no doubt.
You've lost 3 pieces in the O-line. Your swing tackle, both your guards, and your center is coming off of surgery where he has not performed at all during the exhibition season. I'm not saying he's not going to be ready for week 1, Xander. I'm not saying all that. But see, here's been my contention with you. It's not so much that I don't think you can replace a guy. Now we're starting to talk about 7 people you're replacing. When you lose both your guards in a team that won the Super Bowl running people over, and then you lose guys in your D-line, your secondary, you lose rotating pieces. The whole combination of that is what I'm talking about. Where, get this, Xander, here's where I am with you guys now. I don't think you're not in the room. I do think you're still in the room. But what you've done is you've closed the gap for everyone else. Because of all of that, you're still the team. You're the lead guy at the race. You won the pole. You're at the pole position. But what you've made the race with, you have restrictor plates on everybody now. Anybody can win now. If that guy has a long,
you might be in the lead right now, but you got somebody on your heels with a fresh set of tires, and you don't got any more. I mean,
if you lose Cam Jurgens to another injury, or you lose somebody like that, you lose Carter. Now, look, again, I don't like talking like that because that's not what I am. However, here's what I'll say. It's either going to be 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 months. I've had these surgeries. It's going to be one or the other. And my question to you would be, if it's the first 4 weeks of the season, those are pretty important ball games, aren't they? Out of the gate.
They are, but at the same time, I think that would be somewhat of a blessing. Not a blessing. That's not the right word. I'm not saying it's a blessing to lose Dickerson. I'm saying if it's only the first 4 weeks and you can already envision a world where he's going to return to the team, think about what we did in last year's first 4 weeks. We stunk. We fucking stunk. We had to learn what not to do to win. You're going to have a chance to have to change your identity, to be a different version of yourself, a different version of your offense, a different version of your team in the first 4 weeks, knowing that you're getting back an all-pro caliber left guard moment, on soon.
It's like signing a big-time free agent.
Or it's just giving your team almost an excuse-free option of, all right, let's iron out this passing game early. Let's figure out some of those other things, and we know we're going to have that guy returning. And worst case scenario, when that guy returns, we run the football behind him like we did last year for the tune of almost 1,000 yards, came behind Landon Dickerson himself, and you can kind of fall back on that. So I think if it's the first 4 weeks, I might change my win predictions in the first 4 weeks, but I don't think it would give you that sense of, overall doom and gloom. If you start to get into 8-9 weeks, gone, like even if he comes back at that point, then you can start to wonder, like, how will Dickerson look when he gets back? You know what I mean? Like, how has the injury affected him? Missing that much time. That's 3 months of football.
That's conditioning too.
Exact conditioning. There's a lot of different things there. First 4 weeks, I wouldn't feel over the top concerned at all. So that's kind of the optimistic approach, but we will see what happens. I know Eagles fans, and I appreciate fans who, because I'm like this at sometimes too. I appreciate the ability to say, hey, we're going to prevail. Hey, this isn't going to knock out. I appreciate that ability, but let's not downplay how good Landon Dickerson. Like, the truth of the matter is we just lost right now, as it stands today, a fucking really good player. That was not only a big part of what we did on the field, but was a big part of the leadership group off the field. He set the tone on that physical offensive line. So I don't want to downplay
he's a top 10? You think he's one of the top 10 Eagle players?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even think it's close. I think he's 100% of time. He's probably, you got AJ Saquon, you got Lane Johnson, Mailata, you got Dickerson, you got Carter. He's probably top 8. He's probably a top 8 player.
How does this affect Barkley first, in your opinion, now that you've lost Becton and him?
I mean, you don't got to listen to me. I'm sure Saquon Barkley will have thoughts on that. How many times did everybody watch Saquon Barkley run through a hole last year that was sealed off by Landon Dickerson and Mekhi Becton? You don't have that anymore. Now Tyler Steen, actually, that's one thing he showed in that preseason game. That Will Shipley run, that was a great block by Tyler Steen, man. So I'm not going to say he's going to do it to the Becton level, but you lose Landon, that's a big change. It's going to be a big change for Saquon. He's going to have to be a more patient runner. He's going to have to expect basically pressure quicker. He'll probably kiss goodbye. Everybody used that stat last year, how many yards he ran until he got contact or whatever it was. He had 3 yards or 4 yards, whatever it was.
3.8.
Before contact. Yeah, well, that's probably going to go away. Even if somebody does good, you're going from an all-pro or
even if you had everyone coming back, people are going to game plan that.
Right, exactly. So I think people are going to look at this as the point of attack on the Eagles. Plug those gaps and see what Hurts is going to do. See what the passing game does. See what all those different things will do. But this is the biggest crack right now, biggest chink in the armor, and there's still a lot of question marks. So we can't write it off just yet. It's not MCL, which I was very happy to see, because if you damage that MCL, dude, that you're not getting back. I mean, that's a whole structural part of your knee.
But let me throw this at you, like what some people said in here, and I happen to agree. You're not getting a second opinion if it's a bruise or a slight tear. You're getting a second opinion. This, again, I'm guessing here, Xander.
I'm with you on this, though.
Okay, I'm guessing here now. I'm not a doctor. Dr. Chow's coming on at 5:30. So my question would be to you, the Eagles told him it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks or maybe 4 to 6 months. He went like this, no way. I'm going to get a second opinion, and I'm going to see if we can fight through this thing because I'm not missing any football. Now, it's either 4 to 6 or 4 to 6 months. That's where it is. But I think
I just don't. Why do you get a second opinion if it's more conclusive? Right. Somebody's telling him something he doesn't want to hear.
The Eagles are probably siding on caution.
Right. So John, this is what John tweeted out. He quoted the Schefter tweet and said, "Still a lot of uncertainty here. Full tear is likely season over. If injury can be handled with a trim, which somebody in the chat talked about, there's a way to treat that injury with like trimming or something.
No,
if you can do that,
it's shaving.
John said it's a certainty he'll be back this season.
Yes.
So again, there's still a lot of different ways this can go. While we did get news about where to, by the way, I'm happy to hear it's not Achilles. It's not like there was a couple thoughts about the way his leg rebounded off the turf, the way he kind of fell back. Maybe it's an Achilles. So I'm very happy to hear about that. I think meniscus is a better case scenario for the long term anyway, if it was worst case scenario and he missed 4 to 6 months. So I'm happy about that. But look, this is a big one, guys. This is the biggest question on this team that is going to be really tough to overcome. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it. We won a Super Bowl with Jason Peters on the sideline in 2018. We all know that. We won a Super Bowl with our MVP quarterback on the bench. All right, we all know that we can overcome it.
And you lost the linebacker that year. If I'm not mistaken, you lost the linebacker that year as well. So
lost a lot of guys that year. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it makes it a lot harder. There's no doubt it makes it harder.
What are you more concerned about now? The offensive guard position, the cornerback position, or the safety position?
Well, if you can't, I think the nature right now is Landon because he's the best player.
Okay.
He's the best player. So I'm worried about him because
he's still here.
Yeah. And I just, with respect to Gardner Johnson, he wasn't as good of a safety as Landon Dickerson was, a guard. So it's Landon right now, and then I go right to that corner spot. Keely Ringo, again, didn't look great. Adoree Jackson is lessening his reps now, and Jacorian Bennett's been put into the mix. So you got nobody definitively grabbing that spot. When you come into camp and you have a camp battle, the best case scenario to hear as a fan is somebody is stealing that job.
That's right.
Somebody is running away with that job. That's what you want to hear because somebody looks head and shoulders better than the next guy, and it's hard to take him off the football field. That's what you want to hear. You're not hearing that at all. In fact, you heard the opposite to the tune of we're trading away depth on the defensive tackle spot and bringing in another corner to throw into this battle. Like, that's not –
you hear Vic was disappointed. Vic was disappointed Thomas Booker got traded.
Yeah, you could tell.
He said, he was very disappointed.
He was valued here, yeah.
Yes, he's
going to miss him for sure. But corner, and then the other thing is, I think these kind of go hand in hand, Sills, because it's the edge. Because if you're going to have shoddy corners or a liability at corner, how do you protect them? You pressure the quarterback.
And you travel one.
Right. Well, that's one thing. But again, you're still going to have another cornerback out there. I mean, you play a team like the Bucs we talked about. They got 3 good receivers, So it's the best way to protect that liability is to pressure the quarterback. Conversely, if you don't have good edge rushers and you can't pressure the quarterback, the best way to mitigate that is blanket corners who the receivers can't get open and the quarterback has to hold the football. Right now you have both. You got a weakness at corner and a weakness on the edge, a presumed weakness on the edge. So how do they, as complements, kind of almost make each other worse because you need one to improve the other, and right now you have neither. It's almost a compounding effect of quarterback's got all day, and the corner can't cover. I mean, that's the worst recipe. Now, I have a question for you. All right, on this. Do you think the Eagles are betting on pressure up the middle and not as worried about pressure from the outside? And in your eyes, as a defensive player, are they the same? Like, is pressure on the outside on a quarterback the same as, well, who cares if my edges aren't getting home? If Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Moro Jomo are wreaking fucking havoc up the middle. How do you kind of view that?
It's a great observation by you. You proved the point. They're looking at those corners on your team to do one thing: set the edge. Make sure they don't get washed down into pursuit. And so they're going to be more focused on setting the edge and getting some type of pressure. And what's the pressure that always gets quarterbacks? What's the pressure that struggles even with Jalen Hurts? Is interior, like it did with Brady, up the middle pressure. When you've got a dominant player like Aaron Donald, or you've got somebody like Fletcher controlling the middle of your defensive football team, do you understand why the Eagles struggle against the Buccaneers? Do you know why? Vita Vea.
Right.
It's Vita Vea in the middle, stopping the run.
Collapses the pocket, right?
Collapsing the pocket, making him have to step back instead of stepping up. That's why they have really a good performance traditionally against them. So, yes, I don't need 14, 15 sacks from the perimeter. Dude, let me ask you this. The top pressure guys in the NFL are Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and Max Crosby. Max Crosby plays on a shitty Raider team. Micah Parsons plays on a shitty Cowboy team. You got you got Jalen Carter, and you got Cam Hayward in Pittsburgh, and you got Chris Jones in Kansas City. Who would you rather have?
It's a good point.
Okay,
the reason I brought that up
is your teams.
You obviously know that what you said, basically pressure up the middle is the kryptonite, but I think we've kind of gotten to a phase in football, even just like the overall game, where everybody loves sacks so much that there's been a big premium put on edge rushers. And I'm not saying edge rushers aren't important, but I am wondering, and you kind of brought this to my mind originally when you're like, hey, I don't know if Vic even cares about an elite edge.
No way.
And I thought about that, and the more I've thought about that, I'm like, it really looks like they're trying to bolster that middle. Now, that would kind of go against why they got rid of Thomas Booker, but I guess they really do feel
Vic commented he didn't like it. He commented. He said that. He goes, remember what he said? He goes, hey, he goes, oh, no. That guy's going to be a loss for us. Who
would you rather have right now? Would you rather have Jalen Carter, or would you rather have Myles Garrett?
You picked the best guy in the fucking league.
I was going to say Micah, but I knew you were going to say Jalen because Micah can't do everything. So I tried to give me TJ Watt or Max Crosby. That's fine.
The only guy would be you know what? The only reason I would hang my hat on Carter is because he's 24. Okay, I mean that would be the only reason because Garrett's 30. But I mean, dude, Garrett's a first ballot Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not. My point was I'm trying to illustrate.
Anybody else, I'll take
an elite edge or an elite tackle.
I'd rather take an elite tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you want to go Carter there. So it kind of made me feel a little bit better about the edge rusher room. I understand there's some optimism there, but
let me ask you one. Would you rather have Chris Jones or would you rather have TJ Watt?
I mean, Chris Jones has been the
They won a Super Bowl with that sack on him in the 49ers Super Bowl.
I think you got to go Chris Jones.
Me too.
I mean, Chris Jones has they've created, they think about how many moving parts they've allowed on that defense. And the one guy they made sure never left was Chris Jones. And that defense has been good enough to get them into the dance 3 years in a row.
They got rid of Honey Badger. They got rid of Honey Badger.
Get rid of Snead. Get rid of all these guys. Yeah. As long as we keep Chris Jones.
That's right.
Dude, they got rid of linebackers. They got rid of Frank Clark. They got rid of linebackers too. It's fucking Chris Jones is the only guy they really and that McDuffie kid. That's the only one they really want there. So you kind of have your version of that with Quinyon and Jalen Carter. I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting. A little bit more of a macro look at this, but it's going to be super interesting to see how the Eagles play these contracts on defense because, we all love our players right now, but there is going to come a time where they all have to get paid. Nolan, Jalix, Jalen Carter, Jomo, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe's probably not, but Cooper, Quinyon. What are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Where are they going to find the value? Where are they going to move on from guys? I'm really excited to see kind of what, and then how's that change the offense? It's going to be interesting to see how he does.
It's going to be like being in a great strip club going, man, which one? So let me throw this at you here. How does this affect Jalen Hurts?
A lot. He just lost
Landon.
his left guard. I mean, probably affects him as much as it affects Saquon. Maybe more.
More RPOs?
Maybe mitigate the rush a little bit with some RPO, but I don't think they want to go backwards in that route. I really don't. I don't think they want to go.
You may have to.
I know, but I think the RPO is good. I don't think the RPO is good in a long-term timeline. And I think they've kind of outgrown that. And that's part of Hurts' progression as a quarterback, where last year he started to take on more of that, the line of scrimmage. I don't think you want him going back to the RPO where he can make a split-second decision when he hikes the ball, as opposed to reading the defense, figuring out what coverages they're in, what their sub packages are, what some of those other things that they do are, and then trying to dissect it that way. I think it kind of stunts his growth again as a quarterback, and I don't know if you want to go down that road.
Okay, how about this? Do you think Jalen Hurts, the more of the threat of him running from the pocket, or do you really think there's more of a threat of him winning from the pocket? I think it's more of the dual threat that makes me have to defend that dual threat. Jalen Hurts in the pocket, like Wink Martindale said, if he's going to sit back there and they're going to take the element of him running away, like you're saying, they're taking one of his strengths away from him. Because if I'm not thinking he's running, Xander, at the end of the day, you're kind of hurting the process there a little bit and what this guy offers if you're doing that. So I don't know, man. I mean, I fear more of the dual threat from the pocket there with this.
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree. I agree with that. I think you're right about it, but I mean, I don't know. I think, look, the reality is this. We talked about how this year might look different on offense. Well, when Landon Dickerson goes down, you can all but guarantee it's going to look different, right? I mean, there's no pushback on Sileo. Oh, we're going to be able to run. It's going to look different. I don't know how. It's going to look different. Maybe
more fullback.
I mean, maybe you heard the owner talk about that. Maybe that's something.
More fullback and more two tight end.
And it might give Hurts more protection. You can keep a fullback. Maybe use another pass blocker. You got. I don't think we have the best pass blocking running backs right now, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. But potentially, there's a lot of different ways to go. But one thing is for sure is if you don't have Landon Dickerson, man, you're not running the same offense with no Landon Dickerson and no Mekhi Becton. Again, I appreciate optimistic fans, and I hear you, and I want to think it's all going to be all right too, and I think it's going to be fun, but it ain't going to be the same. It ain't going to be the same.
You think they made too many offseason moves?
No. I mean, I think there's turnover on every team. I mean, I don't know what the average turnover on a roster is across the NFL. I'm sure the Eagles aren't much above that this year. I mean, look around. Everybody loses players. And when you're a team that's drafted as well, I mean, look, there's two sides of the coin. On one breath, I tell you, oh, Sileo, look at how his drafts are in the last 5 years. Well, with that comes turnover. You just drafted. Think about it. You got a Moro Ajomo, who is a 7th-round pick. And he's being talked about like he's a 3-down player in year 3, pressure percentage, 6th highest graded pass rushing DT in the league last year.
Okay.
Maybe we're jumping the gun, but I'm just saying that's
a lot of. Okay, I get that, but they're not talking like that about the safety position, the corner position.
They're not about safety.
They're not talking like that. Okay, maybe Ajomo does become that guy. But what about this? What about Tyler Steen? He had a block that was good in that game. Is that guy going to go 70 plays? He couldn't beat out Becton last year. And now I want fans to listen to this. So you're trying to tell me, Xander, not you, but fans are trying to tell me Becton and Landon versus Steen and Pryor. I mean, I'm not in the same room with you, dude. That's a fall off in the level of play, not just the level of talent, the level of play. Do you think that Stoutland, give me your takeaway. Will Stoutland figure this out?
I think you have the best position possible with him, but he's not. Look, he's not invincible. You got to have good players.
He's not a genie.
Yeah, and he'll even tell you that. You know, John always brings up the story about Jordan Mailata back in the day. And, somebody asked him right before he started his first game, and it was an off the record thing with Stoutland. And John says he was asked the question, do you think Mailata's ready? And Stoutland looked him dead in the eyes and said, we'll see. Like, I think we'll see. I don't know. So there's only so much Stoutland can do. He's going to give the player that replaces him the best possible opportunity with what that player has in his skill set and his toolbox to be able to succeed. That's no guarantee, though, that you have the right player, So I think you're in a good spot. I think they have a lot of depth on the offensive line right now, but you're going from a Pro Bowl, I think all-pro guard, to a backup. It's going to be a drop-off with Stoutland or without. That's just the reality.
Do you think this accentuates the loss of Becton? That maybe, again, that if you had to go back and keep certain players, you may have kept Rodgers, you may have kept Gardner Johnson, you may have kept Becton, because doesn't this expose you now with a little bit of injury in that offensive guard position to where now you're going like this? You may have the guys, Xander, but you don't have the experience in the guys right now. There's nobody on that roster except for Matt Pryor that's got game experience of over whatever it is and how many plays and how many games that guy has played. So, I mean, boy, that's the loss of Becton now. The loss of Becton, let's rank them here. How big do you think the loss of Becton is at a scale out of 1 to 5?
Well, I think it went up. It may have been a 3 before yesterday. Now it's a 4.5.
Yeah. How about Gardner Johnson?
3.
Okay. How about Slay?
4. I think, but with Slay, I combined him and Isaiah.
Let me put context in here now. How about Milton and Morrow? 2? People feeling pretty good about that guy out there, Morrow.
I know, and John keeps telling me I'm crazy for discounting what Milton did, and I never tried to discount what Milton did, but it was between 1 and 5, by the way, Jay. But 2.
Yeah.
4 for Slay, by the way, includes Rodgers, though. You lost Slay and Rodgers, so
the swing dude.
The tandem of the two, because Slay needed that guy a lot. So
how about your edge with Josh now? You're hearing a lot of people starting to go like this. Hey, man, I mean.
3, because I'm talking myself into interior pressure.
How much pressure? They didn't have a lot of interior pressure last year.
No, and I'm projecting that it gets better.
Because of John Campbell?
Well, no, they did have a lot of interior pressure last year. Remember, Milton Williams was top. Moore Jumbo was 6th.
I'm talking.
And then you had Jalen Carter, who ate up a lot of doubles.
Yeah, I got it. I got where you are.
Yeah, they had a lot of pressure last year. Maybe not like statistically, but they had a mean enough interior where, you could thrive with that.
I thought it was an interesting comment that a lot of people didn't hit on about what Vic Fangio said, Xander. No, Jihad was going to start. But the medical staff came forward and said, we'd like to not have you start him and give him as many reps. So Smile London, the only reason he did that was because the medical staff. So the medical staff, again, it's preseason football, so I'm going to listen to that as well. So let me ask you then, if the medical staff can go to a coach and say, we'd like you not to start this guy, I'm wondering, because they're siding on the side of safety. There is no doubt, Xander, that Landon Dickerson, his injury is more severe in my opinion.
Well, remember, I think different times call for different measures. I mean, they're going to side with safety always because they're medical people. But
like they did with Campbell.
Yeah, but also remember the Super Bowl. I mean, Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens shouldn't have been playing in that Super Bowl.
Hoss, it's the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's a sliding scale. Right now, you're going to side of caution for Landon Dickerson. I got to go through 20 weeks with that? Like, no way. So you're going to side with caution, versus another scenario where maybe they don't, or the decision makers in the room are able to, are good enough to kind of overmatch that decision. So, I mean, it's definitely a thing, though. It's definitely a thing. They definitely side on caution. I mean, look, the Eagles, one of the things I was talked about was Eagles always have these short practices, right? And last night they had this longer practice, because the fans are in the building. And in the last 10 minutes, Landon Dickerson goes down. I don't know. Is there something to that? I'm not going to sit here and bash the Eagles for trying to put on a show for the paying fans and for the city. I don't think that's a problem. Is it unfortunate it happened in that time? For sure. For sure.
Bro. That guy could have got that walking to his car.
I know, but there has been a process and an approach to things that has kind of received a lot of criticism, whether right or wrong. And the minute you break from that, you get an injury. Some could call that a coincidence. Some would say, "Fuck you, that ain't a coincidence." I don't believe in coincidences. You go longer, you go back above what you usually do, and you got an injury in the last 20 minutes. I don't know. Maybe there's some stat out there where 80% of training camp practices happen in the last 15 minutes of practice. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying they have a reason. They had a way of going about things for a reason. And
you're looking at why right now, why it happened. I mean,
well, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that because I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they should have went shorter. It is what it is. It's a freak accident. Obviously, they didn't want this to happen. I'm just saying, statistically, they've always had that type of approach where, we talk about the nerds taking over. Well, sometimes the nerds are right. They just are. Sometimes statistically, it makes sense to go that route. They've gone that route and they've been very healthy. Now you have this long practice and you're out Landon Dickerson. I don't know. Maybe if anything, they come in and they're like, we're listening to the nerds even more now.
Hey, let me ask you something. What do you make of Dan Orlovsky?
I mean, I think he does. I have a different take on him because I'm in the business, and I can respect somebody that knows how to kind of generate some clicks while also keeping some semblance of professionality. I like him. I don't have a problem with him. He's not like my favorite guy. I don't seek out everything he's got to say, but I like him.
I know him. He's a Connecticut guy. And I know he played.
His wife's an Eagles fan, I think. So he's
He came out with these with some comments on the quarterbacks, and he ranked these quarterbacks, NFL rankings by trait, best arm accuracy, and more. This is by traits. Arm strength: Josh Allen 1, Patrick Mahomes 2. Goes down the list of the normal names. Got Michael Penix in there. Got Caleb Williams in there. No Hurts.
Well, Hurts' specialty has never been his arm strength.
Ball placement. No Hurts in this one either. Burrow's 1. Jaden Daniels is 2.
Oh, fucking A.
2
Are you kidding me?
No, he's 2. Jaden Daniels is 2 in ball placement.
Off what?
Brock Purdy is number 8. Geno Smith is 10. No Hurts.
Come on, man. Where's Jared Goff on that list? Tell me he's not on it.
He's not on it.
That's bullshit. Jared Goff is one of the best ball placement quarterbacks in the NFL. It's the reason he's been successful because he ain't that damn good, but he's got perfect timing and perfect placement.
To your point, he led the NFL in completion percentage a year ago.
Exactly. I mean, come on, man.
Mechanics. Burrow's 1. Jaden Daniels is 2. Stafford is 3. Lamar's 4. No Hurts. Golf is 9. Herbert's 10. No Hurts. Decision making: Burrow 1, Allen 2, Lamar 3, Daniels 4, Patrick Mahomes 5, Herbert 7, Tua 8, Hurts 9, Bo Nix 10.
All right, so who quantifies decision-making by a quarterback? Because, again, I'll point to Tom Brady, who says everybody loves to analyze this shit, and nobody actually knows what a team wants or what a quarterback needs to get, what play to get it in. This is what I know. Jalen Hurts ran an offense that dominated teams all the way to the finish line, okay? It didn't put up stats. It didn't put up numbers. It didn't require him to be this crazy elite MVP caliber quarterback last year, but it won the damn Super Bowl. In my eyes, he's the number one decision maker in the NFL because he didn't give a shit about anything personal. He said, oh, the decision on this play is easy. Let's check it in the Saquon Barkley run. That's still a decision. That Tom Brady, and I'll listen to the GOAT. Tom Brady says, being a good quarterback is getting your team into the right plays at the line of scrimmage. Jalen did that as good as anybody last year, better than most. I mean, come on.
Let me go another one here. Let's see what he got down here. I first time I've looked at it. Pocket presence. Burrow's 1, Lamar.
First time I looked at it. Does anybody believe this?
2, pocket presence. Hurts is not on here. Jaden Daniels is 10th. Rushing ability. Hurts is 2. Lamar's 1. Allen's 3. Jaden Daniels is 4. Let's see here. Second reaction ability. Hurts is 5. Daniels is 4. He's got Daniels ranked ahead of him in every category. Let's see here.
This is some bullshit.
Jalen was ranked in only 2 of the 7 categories.
This is some fucking bullshit.
Wait a minute. I got another one for you. This is New York Times came out today with the Tier 1 and Tier 2 quarterbacks. And here are the Tier 1 quarterbacks in the National Football League. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Stafford. Tier 2, Jaden Daniels, 6. Herbert, 7. Goff, 8. Stroud, 9. Hurts, 10.
Listen,
This ain't me. I didn't put this shit
I try
together.
not to wish bad on any player. I don't care who they play for. It's just not the way I think, not the way I operate. I'm getting to a point where I want Jaden Daniels to have an awful fucking season. Like, I am so done with hearing that this guy is the second coming of Christ. He had one decent season. He won
Not
6
decent.
ball games by the skin of his teeth.
Not
It was mediocre. He got demolished by us in the postseason. Didn't look good. And I saw a clip this weekend. Everybody loved, this is good. Jaden Daniels threw the ball right into fucking some defender's hands in the preseason. Hey, son, you better shake that rust off. Too much shopping with mama this offseason.
Hey,
Come on, man. I don't
Hey,
like to wish bad on players.
a lot of
I'm,
people-
hoping that Jaden Daniels falls on his face this year.
hey, I don't know, man. A lot of people out there think he's better than your boy. I don't know. I just read shit. That's all I do, bro. I just read stuff. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button, and we will read your supers here in a
Do we have
second.
Cobb or no?
What?
Do we have G Cobb or no?
I don't know, man. You know, he's in a golf tournament. If we don't get him, I don't care. I can't wait for Dr. Chow.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So we'll get to that here in a second here. All right. So a couple more here, then we'll get to those super chats. And guys, do me a favor, hit that like button here. Any concerns now on your win total?
I think early in the year, I mean, you're gonna have some definitely, it's gonna be a harder feat because it's also the unknown. You know, you don't know exactly how to play without a guy like Landon Dickerson, who, becomes such a key part of an identity to an offense. I think maybe you could drop another game early. It depends. If he's out all year again, we're gonna have to revisit the win conversation. All right, we're gonna revisit that. But if he's out for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe another loss or 2 here and there. But overall, team's gonna be good. Defense will be better than people think. Jalen will have MVP season. I think this year, at least, it's gonna be. I think. Look,
With that online,
I've been saying this all summer, though, Sills. For the Eagles to go back and win a Super Bowl this year, I believe this year's version of it will require another MVP caliber campaign from Jalen Hurts. I perfectly think he's capable of it. Not everybody does. I think he's capable of it. I think the loss of Landon Dickerson all but ensures that that's going to be the reality. You cannot ride Saquon Barkley to the finish line when you have 2 new guards, both of which are not very good NFL guards as compared to what you lost in 2 Pro Bowlers. Well, I don't know if Mekhi Becton was a Pro Bowler, but he was close. So that's a big change. That's a big change. But no, I'm not going to sit here. What do you want me to say? 4 wins, 6 wins. What do you want me to say, Sills?
No, I want you to say to me that there's more of a threat for a team to win the NFC now because of the losses that you've had with 7 new players that you're replacing since, 8 months ago? That's a lot, dude. 8 players that were significant starters are off that Super Bowl team.
Are we up to 8? We're not up to 8.
Here, look. Let's take a look at it. Okay, Josh Sweat,
1,
Milton,
2,
Nakobe. No,
3,
Josh, Milton, Nakobe, CJ,
3, 4,
Landon,
5,
Becton,
6,
Slay,
7,
Nakobe,
No, you said
Oh, I got
Nakobe.
it. I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 7. 7 starters.
7 and some swing players.
And yes, and Rogers and Burks
Fred
and
Johnson
Fred.
and Fred Burke. Yep. Oren Burks, Fred Johnson.
Great topic here. Who's Isaiah Rogers this year?
I don't know. Because Keely Bingo, I don't know if he's it, man.
Maybe that's his role.
I don't know. Why didn't Vic put him in that role last year?
Been asking you that all offseason. Have I not?
Come on, Keely Ringo. Make our lives easier. Good, man. Can you be fucking good to some extent? I don't need you to be Quinyon. Dude, have you heard the talk about Quinyon Mitchell, though?
All I've heard is that there's 2 dudes that shine in that practice every single day. It's Morrow and it's Q. That's all I've heard is those 2 names.
Those 2, man. Jahad Campbell apparently had a good practice last night, too. Yeah, I'm really excited about Q, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go doom and gloom. We got it. We're good. We're in a good spot.
I didn't say you weren't. I'm just saying that I think the other teams got closer. Who's your Fred Johnson this year?
I think they're good on that, actually. Now, here's the problem. The
Who is
Fred
it?
Johnson, it was going to be probably
Prior.
But now he's going to be playing.
Right.
But remember, you got Brett Toth. You got Kendall Lamb. Kendall Lamb will probably be it now. I think Kendall Lamb will be it now.
I thought he was going to be more your backup.
I thought Lamb was the goal. I thought Lamb was the tackle.
Get this too, dude. Is this right? When you lose Landon, you lose your backup center too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of.
So you lose a position and a half, don't you? Holy cow!
You're looking at Darian Kennard, and you're looking at Kendall Lamb. One of those guys is going to be your Fred Johnson.
So with Landon, you lost a position and a half because he's your backup center.
But only one of them's on the field. I mean, the backup center.
I'll tell you what, he got into it. Didn't he play?
Yeah, but if he moves to center, Sills, what does that mean? You lost your left guard.
No, that means your center is still injured off
Until
his back.
the center's hurt, you lost only one position.
Bro, did he not get snaps last year in the playoffs at center?
He did.
He played in the NFC title game at center.
Yep, he did.
Okay, I mean, now you got to figure that. I'm talking about not figuring out your starting center. I'm talking about figuring out your backup center. Dude,
where's your win prediction?
I said I'm sticking with 11.
All right.
I'm sticking with, I got 11 in there. The only reason I got 11 is because your schedule's tougher. If you had a schedule of a year ago,
I don't think 11's egregious. I mean, I think they're a better team than that, but I don't think
11 and 13.
I mean, 11 wins is good. I mean, that's good. That's fine. I'm good with that. But
no, here, watch this. Do I think that the Lions are going to win more than 11? I don't. Do I think the 49ers are going to win a lot? I do, because they're playing the 3rd worst schedule. Bro, they're not playing anybody. Look at M. Reyes, man. M. Reyes will tell you, get this. This guy right here, M. Reyes will tell you that that Landon Dickerson, Mekhi Becton is the equal to Steen. Steen and Pryor.
Drew says, I'm feeling the Eagles are cooked. I'm in the doom and gloom.
You're not.
And Drew, get the fuck out of here, Drew. We don't got time for that shit, Drew. Come on, man. The team we're having some injuries. We gotta be the we're the roots. We gotta be the tree trunk. We gotta be the immovable object. Come on, Drew.
Jalen's gotta be the carrier this year. He's gotta carry the mail. Woo! Boy, I can't wait. Jalen Hurts, baby. What a big year. Losing both your guards. And he's got to go out there and have that pocket presence that Dan Orlovsky says he doesn't have. I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
Listen, whatever, Orlovsky. Here's the funny part, though. This is just an objective truth. You do get more clicks in the national media if you disrespect Eagles players. You just do.
Especially
you just
Hurts.
do. Huh?
Especially Hurts.
Yeah. So I mean, so it's fun to if you don't feel overly strong, and because other people do it, it gives people a safety net to say, well, they did it too. I'm not the only one who thinks that. It makes it a lot easier to put them down there.
How about that line by Vic? He goes like this. Over here, we don't have a scoreboard. Over there, you got a scoreboard. You got to learn to play with the scoreboard. But he's trying to tell you, hey, dude, tell me this wasn't – we're going to read all the Super Chats here in a second. Guys, hey, tell me he did this. So they asked him over the weekend. I think it was Saturday he talked, right? Vic, what do you make about Jacorian Bennett? He goes, I don't fucking know the player. I don't know anything about the guy. I go, yeah, I saw some tape a year ago on the guy when he was at the Raiders. But, yeah, I don't really know. We'll find out who he is.
I love listening to Vic. He
just goes, I don't know.
He's like must listen coach. Like, how coach speak, you don't really care. Some people don't care about.
Nick is getting it. He's getting it. Nick's getting it. You know what he's telling you?
No,
nothing.
Yeah,
Nick he's not. No. He's just not telling you nothing, which is good. Before, remember that word salad shit? Now he's just not telling you anything.
Yeah, right.
That's what a coach should do. But here's Vic. Yeah, I don't know who the fucking guy is. I've never heard of him before. Hey, did you know anything about the player? He goes, no, I don't know anything about the guy. I mean, I like how he just – did you hear also Nick say – one thing Nick did say, me and Howie go over the roster every day. Yep. Me and Howie go over the roster every day.
Well, so he told him Keely Ringa is a fucking stiff number 1 and Adoree Jackson's a stiff number 2.
Well, I
get rid of Thomas Booker and get me a cornerback, Howie.
You could tell he was pissed off about Booker being gone.
Well, dude, what do you want, Vic? And you're fucking he's trying to get you another corner.
Wait, what are you talking Vic for?
I want you taking to eat it too.
Let's read these supers, Junior.
If I'm Vic Fangio, you got to get mad at the offensive side. Say, yeah, well, hey, we're the number 1 defense in football. Why did we lose everybody? You guys didn't lose shit.
Yeah, you took all my guys away.
Yeah.
How about
now he's bitching.
Aziz Ujalara.
He's got that old man bitch going on, doesn't he? It's got that old man stink.
I never heard that guy's name before. I don't know who the fuck he is there. Adoree Jackson, I don't know. He got to show up and do something.
See, look, Nate ain't wrong. I think you got this. But Nate says, why was he out there at the end of practice? # dumb as fuck. He ain't wrong.
Come on, man.
I know, but I'm just saying you had a process and a philosophy that you stuck to. You stuck to it and it gave you results. Then you abandoned that process. And I get it. I'm not trying to bash him for it because I appreciate the fans.
I can't bash him for this.
I can't either because it's a little bit of a fluke, but I understand that thought process.
I get it.
What's up, Mark? He says if it's a close call and there's a higher chance for re-injury doing 4 to 6 week treatment, Dickerson should do longer recovery one to be playoff ready. That's a long time to miss and come back for the playoffs. But
could you see this happening, this scenario? They say they lose a bunch of games and they win 10, 11 games, but they're a 14-win team. They get into the playoffs and they wax everyone because they get everybody back and they get that Super Bowl roster back by the end of the year. You may have a tougher road because of those first 4 games, Xander. If you drop and go 2-2 and all of a sudden you don't have the same depth you had a year ago and some of those guys like Keely and those guys, and you bounce until you get healthy again. By the way, think about this. So as week 9 and 10 come, you're going to get Jakobi back. You get Dickerson back. You got a healthier.
This is my problem with some of the things that return. How do you know what Nakobe Dean – are we all pretty sure Nakobe's going to be as good of a player?
Well, I'll tell you what. After what I saw a year ago, I'm going to side on the side. He's pretty good.
I know, but that's a big injury, dude. And that's a lot of time and no football.
I agree. I don't know.
I'm not trying to cast doubt on Nakobe. I'm just saying I think in a perfect world, people get healthy from an injury and poof, they're the same player.
How do you know Sidney's not going to be better by the end of the year and Keely's going to get better with more reps?
Well, hey, remember last year or at this time last year, everybody wanted Nolan Smith out the door. Now they want to give him a max contract.
That's right.
So there's time. There's no doubt there's time. But that it can also go both ways, especially with the injured players.
Yep.
Mark, thanks for the super. Kimberly, what's up, Kimberly? Forget Arch for SEC. Lenora Sellers, not close.
I got one for you here. You ready what the rumor is? Ken DeBoer shits the bed. John Gruden to Bama.
Who to Bama? John Gruden?
Yeah.
Oh,
John Gruden wants to coach that Bama team.
Kalen DeBoer, you don't like him?
I didn't say that. John Gruden wants to coach Alabama.
Yeah, I would too if I were him. Great
Could
program.
be a Nick Saban.
Different style, but sure, he could be.
Wow.
They better come alive this year. By the way, what's up with all this Penn State glaze? The AP poll came out. Number 2, I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, Penn State's gonna win, right? I've been hearing that my whole
James
fucking
Franklin.
life. Penn State's not winning shit. All the Penn State fans in the chat, you might love me for my Eagles take. Fuck Penn State. All right, they're not winning shit this year. Guaranteed.
You got James Franklin, dog. He ain't going anywhere with that.
Jason A-Team checks in. He says, best channel on YouTube. That's my brother right there. He says, so hyped to go into the season with JAKIB. You get out of life what you put into it. Mindset is everything. Being mentally strong can create a better life for all. God bless JAKIB and the Eagles.
Thank you, Jace.
Right. That's it. He's right about that, man. He's right about that. You get out of life what you put into it, you know, and I agree with that. A-Team, great chat, man. Thank you. And by the way,
walk in the positive light.
By the way, a little note on A-Team that he knows, but he is our longest standing JAKIB Legend member, which is our top paid member for 13 months. Been a legend all through the offseason. So you remember those Princess Diana jackets I got last year?
Yeah.
I got one that's still brand new. I'm pretty sure it's A-Team size, if I remember his jersey size correctly. And I'm giving him that jacket for the
whoa.
That support.
Let me ask you this, Jason. We only give jackets to men, so you're not a size 8, are you? I'm just asking here. You're not a size 8 jacket. You're
all right. Big update. Big update. Landon Dickerson, who suffered a meniscus injury on Sunday night, is having minor knee surgery in the coming days. He's considered week to week with the goal of being available to begin the regular season.
Let's see with this here. Okay. He's going to have surgery, and he's going to be ready for this opener. That's what they're saying. The season's 3 weeks away. Now,
here we go.
Are they saying light tear?
Don't see anything on that yet. Boy, this is going to be a good interview with Chow. Because he'll put to rest whether some of these reporters are off their rocker or not. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, let me see that. Because is it reporters? Is it who? Like, give me the reporters.
Schefter, Pelissero.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, here's a tweet. Best case scenario, Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson will undergo what's being described as a minor procedure on the meniscus in his right knee in the coming days. Dickerson will then be considered, considered week to week with the goal of returning for the Thursday night, September 4th, regular season opener versus the Cowboys.
Why would he put best case scenario? Why would you put best case scenario like that and phrase it like that? Why not just go like this? The Eagles are hoping to have him for the opener instead of saying best case scenario. Are they thinking about how the surgery?
Well, because it can be fixed in a minor surgery is what it sounds like. So even if he's not ready week one.
So they must be talking about the rehab. Because best case scenario to me is the rehab.
Travis says, look at Ian Rappaport. I thought I looked at him. Here's Ian Rappaport. He tweets out another one that sounds like they got the memo. Everybody got the same memo. Best case scenario. Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson, who suffered a meniscus injury on Sunday night, is having minor knee surgery in the coming days per me and Mike Garofalo. He's considered week to week with the goal of being available to begin the regular season.
I think this is good news.
Here's a doctor. he got lucky and is having his meniscus trimmed. That's what we thought. Remember, that's what John tweeted. Although he will develop osteoarthritis much faster than he normally would have in that part of the knee, it will allow him to return much sooner as opposed to missing most of the season. Sometimes the piece of torn meniscus is too small to try to repair, so the options are limited. At least his ACL is intact.
They shave. That's right. They shave it, Xander. And get this. Do you know why they're talking about a couple days? It's because there's swelling. And they've got to wait for that swelling to go down before they can go in and do surgery. Okay? I mean, so to me, like I said, I mean, this was going to come down to the severity of the tear.
We are fucking back, baby.
Let's see.
We are back, baby.
Right. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. That is great news, though.
Come on, Landon. Look at him. Look at him. Right? It's stuck on my wall. I got a picture of him on my wall. I got a picture of Landon on my wall.
Alabama? Alabama?
No. I got a big wall of Eagles graphics in front of me. Let me see if I can show you. See him up there?
Oh, my God. That is awesome. I love that, bro.
See him up there? There's Landon.
I like that collage.
Yeah, the collage is cool.
I love it. Hey, let's get to some of these supers, bro.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's do it.
That's great. I think it's great news.
Yeah, it is. Shred says he's also the biggest tone setter in the O-line. He is, but he's going to be back week 1, Shred, so we're in a good spot. Jason 18 again, $20 super. Landon is a big deal losing him. He's our best lineman and a captain, in my opinion. The team respects him for getting out that NFC Championship game. So do us fans. Excited to see Ringo and Bennett CB2 race because Adoree is gone. I think Adoree is gone.
I do love he's not the best old lineman, but I'll tell you what, he is. He's an attitude setter. And I had a lot of respect for him and Cam playing in that NFC Championship game the way they did. I really had a lot of what's Pump? What are you saying, Pump, by Jordan Schultz?
Same one. Same report. Okay. So the report right now is great news. He's getting a minor surgery, and the expectation, assuming surgery goes well, best case would be he could be ready for week 1. You hear that, Pump?
Do you think they'll side on the side of safety? Or do you think what?
I think he's going to be ready to go.
Okay. I
mean, these minor surgeries they call them minor for a reason. They are like,
he'll play.
I don't know what the doctor term is for it, but
Hey, if I hear minor, hey, Xander, if I'm a player and I hear minor, I'm fucking playing.
So here's another doc who says, oh, let me pull this up. Give me 1 sec here. Let me pull this up from McMullen, who retweeted this. All right. All right, ready? Here's McMullen just retweeted this. This is a doc, fantasy injury T, Tom Christ, PT, DPT, OCS, FAA, OMPT, whatever that means.
Yep.
Likely a trim. Great short term, won't likely negatively impact him this year. Does have negative long-term consequences.
Yes. Stuff I talked about.
As you've talked about on this show.
Yep. He'll have arthritis. Like, you know what it is? You could play without that meniscus. I know players who have played without meniscus. It's like, you know what it does, Xander? It's like a cushion. Did you see? Do you still have that knee thing? That meniscus is the cushion, Xander. That meniscus is the cushion.
I saw the picture here. Let me pull it back up.
Yeah.
Welcome to the classroom, everybody, with Dr. Sills and Dr. Z.
See that red, the flat red one? That's a cushion. So when your knee does this, look, guys, when it does this, you could still play without a meniscus.
Yeah.
It just hurts like hell. Mm-hmm. It just, you can play with it.
It rubs.
What you don't want is that top one. You don't want that top one cut.
All right, let's get to some more supers. Here we go. Matt NJ, what's up, Matt? He says, this gives us an opportunity to understand our depth.
Yes, it does.
Not ideal, but we may see an emergence of a new prospect like Becton. Maybe. Optimistic. Matt, good to see you, brother. Hope you had a good summer. Good to have you back in the chat.
What's Trevor Keegan doing in camp?
I don't know. I was optimistic on him, but I trust Stoutland enough. If he ain't getting on the field, I mean, shit, he must stink.
Man, I'm still hoping for him.
Yeah, I kind of am too, but we'll see. A-Team says, thoughts on 70-yard field goal. Should be the wreck.
A Jags guy hit that 70-yarder. I think you're going to start to see more of that with these guys with their big legs now. And
I'm like done with Jake Elliott. Did you see him shank that one in the preseason game?
He
got bailed out by a flag, but that was a shanky McShankster, dude. That thing was like missed by 15 yards, dude.
Josh McShankster.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, come on. Cody says, New York Times and football analysis. Enough said. Stop it, Dan. He's talking about this.
That was the Athletic. I don't know.
Fucking A. Kokorski says, Shadur Sanders will be the next Johnny Manziel. No, it's a stupid take. King Yano says, he's a 5th-round pick. How can he be the next Johnny? King Yano says, with the loss of Dickerson, the tush push is way less effective. Holland Pierce makes roster and becomes the left guard and push scenarios based on size and strength.
Let me ask you this. How does his injury this year affect the tush push? Even if he is able to come back in, does his injury, how does that affect it?
Well, I wonder what the re-injury risk is on this.
I think it's pain, Xander. Because if it's not an ACL or MCL, I think this is more pain stuff, pain management kind of shit.
Maybe. Yeah, everybody's like,
can I tell you this? Get this. I think Landon didn't probably want to get the surgery, but the Eagles made him get the surgery. That's probably why he wanted the second opinion, and the Eagles won this one out. Dickerson
is back. Great news.
Can't wait to Dr. Chow.
So everybody, wait, this is what I'm saying here. Everybody's saying, where is it? Where's my Missy Elliott text in here? Everybody's calling him Missy Elliott. Wait, I got a problem, though. This is my problem. Missy Elliott. Jake's getting old. Jake Elliott is a human I hate. Missed by a mile. Jake is cooked. Jake Elliott is a dog. Yeah, he missed by a mile.
Holy shit.
So last year, they got rid of the longtime long snapper and said, you stink, and the reason Jake Elliott stunk is because you had shitty snaps all year. So they bring in a new long snapper, and the very first snap of the year for a Jake Elliott field goal, he hooks one in the right field. Hey, are we sure it was the long snapper, man?
Yeah, no. Hey, man.
Are we sure it was the long snapper?
You better
don't know.
You better not put a fucking C on that guy's chest this year. That's for damn sure. Okay, I don't want to see it, man.
Oh, man. Let's see what happens.
Way.
Here we go. We got a bunch more supers.
Good. Thank you, guys.
A-Team says, what happened if we 1-3 first 4? Jason, stop. Leon says, yeah, I gave him my knee. I had to. I bleed green. Leon, you didn't need the knee anyway. I'll give you – Leon, you gave him your knee. You can have my knee now. Hey, not the best knee, but it's a good –
So wait a minute, Leon. You gave Joy your heart. Now you want to give Landon your knee. Well, I'll tell you what.
No, Leon, protect your heart, young man. You were making me – making me a little sad. Drew says, doom and gloom gone. Go Birds. I'm sorry I doubted. Let's go, Drew. I told you to get that shit out of here. Kimberly says it will cause degeneration around the knee.
Yeah, but
that's the
okay.
Kimberly special right there to sow some doubt. Come on, Kimberly.
That's okay, hon. He won't be able to get on a knee and give his wife a ring. It's all good, man. Yeah. By the way, I love the fact he likes riding lawnmowers.
Yeah, I love that. And Bozo, whole lot of hoopla. Brother, this sounds like that Scammer and Beads career trajectory. Landon might be a vegetable come 2020.
Holy cow. A pump's back. It sounds like that Scammer and Bead.
This guy says shit I hate so bad, but he's too funny to actually be mad at.
Funny, man. That's funny.
Landon might be a vegetable. Senor says most versatile lineman we got to play guard and center at a Pro Bowl level in the playoffs.
Absolutely, man.
Kokorski says I haven't seen a kicker shank a kick that bad since the Colts kicker in the 06 playoff game versus Steelers.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, Kokorski,
Josh
what was
Elliott.
that, dude?
That guy's catching strays, dog.
Wait, the funniest part is he had this blank look on his face. And then he saw the flag on the field, and you could see he was like, oh, thank God. I mean, that thing was brutal, Kokorski. That was one of the worst kicks I've seen, dude. That was an awful
man.
kick. That thing didn't have a chance, dude. That thing didn't have a chance.
Absolutely, man.
All right, let me get out of here. Let me post this update from the show so that people know what's going on because Landon is back, baby.
Landon's back.
Landon is back.
Look at that. He's back. By the way, Dr. Chow will be with us at 5:30. JAKIB is at a golf tournament. So
JAKIB is not. JAKIB is out right now, Sills.
Yeah.
JAKIB is living his best life. All right. Billy John checks in. Xander, I told you it wasn't serious. All right, Billy John, I will give you your kudos as I told you I would, my friend. Well done, Billy John.
I will say this. On August 11th, you're getting surgery. Don't ever say that that's not just a thing. You get surgeries in March, not August.
Yeah, but there is a difference between like a little microscopic or arthroscopic or whatever it's called versus like a full surgery.
Like a microdot, like that. That's what you're saying. Like
I had a big surgery on my ankle, dude. In my college.
From hockey?
No, I had osteomyelitis in college. I walked around on listen to this. I walked around on college campus freshman year, and my ankle started hurting me, and I just chalked them. Whatever, I don't care. All right, so I go home for Thanksgiving break. And I'm walking on this thing. It's getting progressively worse. And I'm just walking across campus. I don't even care. Just trucking it. Don't care about not walking. Get home for Thanksgiving break. And I'm like, damn, this ankle hurts. And I'm not the type of guy that goes to the doctor for a lot of shit. I don't do that. I don't know why. Maybe I should. I don't. But my mom looked at it and she's like, dude, that's like a little bit pink and purple. Like that thing could be infected. You got to go in. So we go in. I get a whole ass x-ray done. I get everything you need done. And they're like, no, it's nothing. It's a sprain. You're good. And I'm like, all right. So I go back a month later. This was Thanksgiving break. A month later, I come home for Christmas break. I get home. My mom's like, let me see your ankle. I pull my ankle out and she goes, black and blue. She takes me to the urgent care. They say, I'm thinking it's going to be all right, a couple days.
Yeah.
Immediately, they brought me to CHOP. I was under the gun in an hour and a half. And when I woke up, the doctor, first thing he said to me, he said, if you didn't get here, this leg was gone in another couple days.
Wow.
Your foot was gone. Yep. Osteomyelitis is a bone infection. And I think I got it from when I was doing the stupid fucking fraternity, which I hated with my entire everything in my being. All right. And they gave me this burn on my arm. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
And then I had a double surgery. I went right back under the gun Thursday. This is what derailed my college career because I got a 4.0. First time I ever had good grades in my life is when I went to college because everybody told me I couldn't do college because I was dumb in high school, but I knew I just didn't try in high school. And then I go to college. I get a 4.0. I come home and have this surgery. I go back and I'm on this fucking scooter. I'm riding a class and scooter on this huge Alabama campus. I'm like, man, I stopped going to class. It all unraveled right there.
Let me ask you this. Didn't you find, because you went to a prep school, because I didn't you find college a snap versus the prep school you went to? Dude, my prep school was so fucking hard. Yeah. I mean, dude, I got to college. I got to pick my classes.
Yeah.
It was night and day. Xander, great stuff, man. I'm sure you'll probably have an update right after the program, right?
We're going to have an update. I'm going to do something here with Johnny Mac after the show. So we'll do a little update action. But really, I just want to hear Chow. I mean, I don't even need it. I want to hear Chow. That's who I want to hear. You know, John's not a doctor, and Chow is. So I'm looking forward to hearing from that. Sills, let me make sure.
Good news, dude.
It's great news. It's great news. Yep. All right, Sills, see you, buddy.
You got it, man. That is our friend. And don't forget to check out the show, Birds 365 with our friend. All right. David Chow will join us. That'll be at 5:30. We will talk to the doctor and get his thoughts on all of this and the latest on what's going on. Let's pay some bills here, guys. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, where they are the #1 injury law firm on the planet. How about that for you, man? The number one injury law firm in America for a reason. It's because they win. Coast to coast. They defend families where you've been injured or insurance companies do not give you your proper return when it comes to the investment that you make in those insurance companies. John goes right after those folks. That's what the company was built on. His brother was dealt with that kind of stuff, and that's why John got into the number one injury law firm in America, was because his brother was not dealt right by a particular company. They went in, they got the justice they needed, and they made sure that those guys ended up paying what was right. So do me a favor, guys. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We have just asked Dr. Chow to see if he can log on now with us. Until then, we appreciate you guys coming aboard. Biggest names in sports always come to Big Sills, whether it's here, the Tampa show, what have you. We got Jim Kelly also lined up this week to talk about the NFL, talk about Jalen Hurts. He's a huge fan. So we have him coming up. Eskin's going to be with us. That'll be on Wednesday. Boatload of people will be joining us this week as we get ready for the upcoming season. And Bernie Kosar, my Hurricane legend, who led the Cleveland Browns to 3 AFC championship games, will be with us this week as well. So do me a favor, hit the like button. We're going to go over what Nick Sirianni said and also what Vic Fangio said over the weekend. Okay? Yeah, Jim Kelly. You know who Jim Kelly is? First ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. Okay, and by the way, both guys Hurricanes. Hey, you doing? So that is good news. So we'll get Dr. Chow's thoughts here in a second here. Hopefully he can jump aboard with us instead of waiting until the bottom of the hour here. So guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. You've been absolutely great. Before I get into what Vic and what Nick said and some of the players over the weekend and on Sunday, I thought Shedeur Sanders played well on Friday. I thought he played well. What was the numbers? I thought Shedeur was good. I thought he showed that, I don't know if he's going to start. Okay. Okay, so Dr. Chow's going to join us in 5 minutes. So we'll have this for you guys. And so he's going to join us in about 5 minutes. So until then, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. All right, so let's take a look at what Vic said. I think Nick's getting better at his job. Absolutely, senor. QB1. That's my QB1. I don't think it's going to be in Philly, but I believe that guy is going to be a starter somewhere in the NFL. I think he'd start probably on 10 to 12 NFL teams. I do. I think that guy could really make it. He could start with the Jets for sure. Okay? Absolutely. So here's what Vic said. He was asked a question about Bennett. Yeah, he's in the mix. He's in the mix. Think about this for a second. He's in the mix means you don't have a corner right now. All the offseason, all the practices, a preseason game, and you don't have a corner. A dude who you just traded for is now going to be in the conversation to win a job. That means this. You don't have a replacement yet for Slay. And it's August 11th. You do not have a replacement. I mean, it's only been 8 months. You do not have a replacement at corner. Vic said it. Yeah, he's in the mix. We are going to miss Thomas Booker. To get something, you have to give something up. How's that for you? I told you would miss Thomas Booker. Vic said it too. Thomas is a good football player. I think that guy and Moro Ajomo grew together. And I think that guy is going to be missed too. So who's your backup to him? Ty Robinson? Okay, we'll see. But Vic made it very clear. They're going to miss him. Funny, I say it. It's there. Vic says it. He validates what I said. Gabe Hall. I told you 3 weeks ago Gabe Hall was going to make the football team. And I know that they like him. And the practice squad was made for a player like Gabe Hall. It was made for him. Make no mistake about it. Okay? It was made for a guy like that. We're expecting to talk to the pro football doctor, Dr. David Chow, here coming up in a couple minutes here. Keely and Adoree. He likes the fact that those guys got killed out there. That's a really great way to look at it. It really is. He's like, let's see if they learn. You're talking about Jamar Chase. And you're talking about Joe Burrow. Okay? And you're right. Those guys aren't going to cover them. Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo are not going to cover Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. That's right. That's what he's saying, Yale. That's exactly what he's saying. He says, hey, you got a great learning experience. You got a great opportunity now. And let's see how you handle it. I absolutely like that way of looking at it. I just heard the news. LFG, Landon, minor tear. We're going to talk to Dr. David Chow here in a second. Pro football doctor. We'll get his takeaway on what he says. Kim, I'm with you. I'm like Booker from the first time we started talking here. Yes. Let's see where we go here now. Smile Munden. I thought it was interesting. Smile Munden didn't get the reps because he was playing ahead of Jahad Campbell. He got the reps because the trainer and the doctors went to Nick Sirianni and went to Howie. Then Nick went to Vic and said, listen, we would like him not to have to play. And so not to have as many reps. That's why Smile Munden started. Wasn't that he was beating him out? I think that's a great sign because I think when people saw that Smile Munden got the start, people were like, wait a minute here. He's getting first team reps. Well, it's more being precautious than anything when it comes to protecting Jahad Campbell. So the trainers were probably just protecting him. Actually, that's a good thing. They want him ready for the start of the season. So that's a great thing here. Okay? All right. I got to tell you guys, I met this man years ago when I was doing my show in the Mighty 1090 in San Diego. And I'll tell you this, there's no doubt he's one of the most well-respected men, and he was a former Charger doctor. And you talk about people getting opinions, and you go to Dr. David Chow, and he is the pro football doc. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's built that brand up. I can't tell you from my friends like Bert Grossman and all the people that just swear by him, there is no question about it. We're so proud to reconnect here with our friend, and I can't wait to talk with him here. So let's bring him up. Dr. David Chow, he joins us now. Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? It's been a little while.
Absolutely, man. I love what you're doing. I love the whole branding on what you're going with here. So obviously one of the reasons that I brought you in here was I wanted to get your opinion on Landon Dickerson. Now, the reports have just come out here now where I've had this surgery. I went in, Dr. Chow, when I was with the Buccaneers. They shaved my meniscus because there was some clicking. I was able to play that Saturday, and the meniscus is the thing that's underneath here. It's kind of like the stuff there. And they told me that as long as it's not a bad tear, there's a chance that you'll be able to go out and play the rest of the year. And I did. I played that Saturday. Can you give me your takeaway on what you're hearing so far and what people are saying about Landon Dickerson?
Well, I'm always glad to deliver good news. And so far, this seems on the good side. So yesterday, when my Twitter handle, X handle, went off and the Sports Injury Central staff was texting me all the information, the video, there seemed to be a lot of doom and gloom based on Lane Johnson's reaction and players' reactions. And this is why I always say, judge the injury, don't judge the reaction to the injury. Now, there wasn't a lot of video. There was one distance, grainy video where I couldn't really tell what exactly happened, but I took that as good news. And on my Twitter handle, I said, I can't be sure. Let's hope there's no dreaded ACL type thing. I know he's had a history of that. But the fact that you couldn't tell for sure was a good sign. And also a soft sign, and once again, don't judge the reaction to the injury, was that he was carted off in the front seat, not laying down, knee or leg locked. So last night's cautious optimism has kind of turned out. It's said to be minor meniscus injury, minor procedure, arthroscopy. Let's hope that arthroscopy is what you just said, a meniscectomy or a trim, not a meniscus repair done through a scope. The meniscus repair puts the season at risk. The meniscus trim, as you say, leaves the door open, I'll say, for an early season return. Whether that's week 1 or not is a different question. And look, Dan, you've been through a lot and lots of injuries. And back in the day, here's a bullet, go bite on it. Let's go.
Right.
It's the health and safety era now. No one's calling these players soft, but they are more aware of long-term and doing what's right for their bodies, etc.
Dr. Chow, when they say best case scenario, doesn't this come down to the style of rehab? I mean, I'll give you a story because I also do a show in Tampa with, a radio station there, and they misdiagnosed Tristan Wirfs. You had him in a knee brace, and then all of a sudden on July 8th, he goes in, and now he's on the PUP list. So, they were hoping without surgery in that case here. So when they say best case scenario, what does that mean to you? Because to me, it's kind of like a convoluted message. When somebody says best case scenario, that means all the rehab has to go well. That means the injury has to come along. When you hear people phrasing it like that, what's that mean?
Well, in some ways, you have to think about it this way, in football terms, right? Terms that people can understand instead of using medical terminology. In the best case scenario, your football drive ends up with points, right? And whether it's field goals or a touchdown. In the best case scenario, you end up making the kick, whether it's the extra point or the field goal, you make the kick. But if you're injured, 3 things have to go right. 1, the injury has to be amenable to healing. The procedure or surgery has to be good, and the rehab has to be good. And if all 3 are good, then it works out. It's kind of like the snap, the hold, and the kick. That's my analogy. So you got to have the snap, the hold, and the kick. Any one of those that doesn't go right, you're not making the field goal. You're not making a good recovery. It's not the best case scenario. Right now, it seems like the snap or the injury itself is okay. We hope that the hold will be okay, the surgery, and then the recovery is actually the kick. And hopefully all will go well and he will return. But, it remains to be seen. And what we do at Sports Injury Central, different than anywhere else, is we don't do injury reporting. We do injury analysis. I love all the reporters of the world, from Schefter to Rappaport and all the big guys, but they're reporting what the team says, not in Philadelphia. But the other big news today is Matthew Stafford was a day-to-day, then became week-to-week, and then was going to practice today, and now isn't practicing today. There's a lot of, and I don't dislike Sean McVay, it's a common thing in the NFL, what we call coach speak, right? Code word. And coach speak is he could be ready week 1. Yes, we all hope he's ready week 1, but that's coach speak. What's the reality? It remains to be seen. Matthew Stafford, we've given best and worst case scenarios based on his back. Phillip Rivers played through a season, but Tony Romo's season ended with a back surgery. It remains to be seen. It's not day-to-day for Matthew Stafford. Same thing with this whole injury here with Landon Dickerson. We try and look at what we know rather than what is reported as, Lane Johnson's emotional. Look, it's his friend. I hope he's emotional, right? You're all a band of brothers there. So we try and do the analysis as news comes out. Right now, we're trending towards better for Landon Dickerson, and we're happy about it.
You bring a spectacular point up, and I wonder if you can broach this here, because you're right. If anybody doesn't know that this hasn't been leaked out by somebody affiliated with the Philadelphia Eagles because they want this out there like that, when do you look at it like this? The best interest and the best case scenario, that's the Eagles talking. That's not really, and like you said, no disrespect to Rappaport or Adam Schefter, but, I've always thought, Dr. Chow, that there's some type of conflict of interest when you have that. I mean, the guy works for the team. The doctors work for the team. The PR is going to get that story out. That's why you're always
look. I work for the team on the other side. I will say this: look, I am not accusing the Eagles of doing anything nefarious. It's what all coaches do. I gave a Rams example. There's plenty of examples, and I will say this: it's not the doctors misleading. The doctors don't talk to the media. HIPAA. The doctors, it's the interpretation of the PR or the GM or the coach or the agent in terms of what they want out there. And what has surprised me about what I've done is there have been times when I've met up with a player and they'll go and I'll say, yeah, I'm so-and-so, and I'll introduce myself at a Super Bowl or a thing where I don't really know the player already. And I'll say, I'm so-and-so. And then I remember one time the Chiefs right tackle said to me, yeah, I know who you are. I said, I talked to your brother, Jeff Schwartz. He goes, yeah, I know who you are. I said, oh, are you mad at me because I've been saying that about your knee, that it's not right with the MCL? He goes, no, I'm actually glad, because the media in Kansas City was saying he's almost ready. It's any day now. And after about a month, they're saying, why, Mitchell Schwartz, are you taking your time? Shouldn't you be ready? The reality was it was a significant MCL that was going to be 6 weeks. Yet the way the reports are spun for the team's advantage, Mitchell Schwartz told me, made him look bad, right? And he's like, I can't say anything against the team, but you're telling things out there. He actually rather enjoyed it. And that's been a pleasant surprise about what I've been doing.
Let me go around the league a little bit here, and I want to ask you about Cam Jurgens. Oh, wait, before I do that, let me ask you about the risk that Landon Dickerson has here with this. I mean, you know, I played when I had my trim, they put me in a Lenox Hill, and I said, I'm not wearing that thing. But then they taped me up because the Lenox Hill back in those days, those things were like carburetors. I mean, they were really heavy, those old Lenox Hills, and I had it fitted for me. But then Dr. Diaco and those guys, they said, we'll wrap it for you. And I was able to play the rest of the year like that. Is there any kind of damage, or is that something down the road type of damage when it comes to arthritis and what have you when you get to that point?
The damage is down the road when it comes to arthritis. And look, we at Sports Injury Central, we talked to Landon Dickerson a little bit, about the Cam Jurgens injury and his issues at this most recent Super Bowl. Obviously, players play coy with injuries. He's a tough guy, but he's had his history with knee issues. He came into the league with the left knee ACL, I believe. I think historically he has a right knee previous ACL injury from even before the NFL, well before. And so you have to give him, he's a human being. He's got a family. He needs to do what's right for him and his knees. And no one can blame him to be a little careful to make sure his knee's going to be right, especially given there's a tiny bit of cushion of the preseason, right? Let's give him a chance to go. And look, are the Eagles trying to be loaded for bear for week one? Sure, they'd rather have him, but they're trying to load up for another Super Bowl. So as long as Landon Dickerson is back for the majority of the year, don't be surprised if in a joint effort, the player and the team slow plays it a little bit to make sure that he's going to be good to go for the long haul, and no one's going to be upset about that.
Yeah, you're looking for the long play here, not really the short play here with something like this. I want to ask you about Cam Jurgens, who had a back surgery this offseason here. And, man, those things are always tricky. I mean, he hasn't really participated in a lot of the offseason here and in the exhibition season. Obviously, he's not doing really anything. They've kind of got him on a pitch count. How concerned would you be if you're the Eagles on that? Because back injuries, we're talking about serious stuff here. When you're talking about like sciatic nerve stuff, you're talking about, stuff that could really be a factor, especially for a center.
No question. And in the offensive line, you need a lot of core strength, right? In the trenches where you were, it's all about core strength and what you can do. Anecdotally, remember that J.J. Watt in his final days had a back surgery, returned way earlier than he thought he would from a preseason back surgery, and re-injured it and required a second surgery. And that's going to be the case with Cam Jurgens. But I don't think we make as much about this. We touched on the Super Bowl. Cam Jurgens deserves a lot of credit for playing through a back injury, a disc injury that needed surgery. He should have shut his season down if he was doing what's best for him. Instead, he laid it out on the line and played through a disc injury, and nerve pain, if anyone's ever had it, is debilitating. And then he had the surgery after the Super Bowl. So props out to him. To me, if I'm on the Eagles, give that man as much time as he needs to get back this season. Don't worry about him. He's proven himself as a gamer when the team needs him. Give him the time that he needs to get right.
Doc, when you're talking to players and you're talking to Charger guys, or you're talking to any player right now that you deal with, how do you protect the player from himself? I mean, how do you do this? Because listen, being a normal orthopedic guy for a dude that walks the streets and being a pro orthopedic guy, there's two different folks there you're dealing with. How do you protect the player from himself?
Well, first of all, by being a player advocate and giving them all of the information, risk, benefits, complications, to make an informed decision. The number one question I get asked is, how did the team force you and what was the conflict? I look at it, there's no conflict. My responsibility is to the players. I literally told the team this. Look, if you're at a bank, you take care of the assets. What are the assets of a company or a bank? It's the money. What are the assets of the NFL team? It's the players. So take care of the players in the right way. I very rarely, it's always been what you say, players pushing me to return to play. Phillip Rivers famously played through a torn ACL in his one and only AFC Championship game 6 days after a knee scope. And he was the one driving it in the locker room that day on that playoff game. He wanted to return that game. I said, you couldn't. And I literally had to have the assistant athletic trainer pretend to give him a snap and prove to Phillip he couldn't get under center before he agreed to stay out of that game. And then on the bus ride and on the plane ride, I'm playing next week because we had beaten the Colts. And I said, well, if you're playing, let's get the MRI. Let's formulate a plan. No, I'm playing, doctor. I made him sleep on the decision Sunday night to have surgery Monday morning before playing the next week. And then we talked about it Monday morning. Coach Norv Turner, who I just saw at Canton with the Antonio Gates, that was a great time there.
Oh,
it was great. And Antonio was great. He's such a nice guy and gave a nice shout out, the whole deal. But whatever. The bottom line is Norv Turner is the one who said to Phillip, in that meeting that I was in, Phillip, take care of your knee. Billy Volek will do this. We'll be okay. Phillip Rivers is the one who said, no, I'm pushing this and I'm coming back. And you know that, Dan, that's the norm. I get it as times change and guaranteed contracts come more and more into play. Things may slowly shift, but in my time, it's always been players pushing the envelope rather than the team.
Reoccurring hamstring injuries, A.J. Brown, seemingly these are coming a little bit more and more as you're getting older. When it becomes, and you're starting to see this, a year ago he had it throughout this entire offseason. When you start to see reoccurring hamstring injuries, what is that telling you? He's in phenomenal shape. He's a great player. They're siding on the side of protecting the player. But when you start to see that, where you're starting to see reoccurring stuff, what's that telling you? Is that a telltale sign of something, or is that just its circumstances?
Well, it depends. Obviously, it depends on which hamstring, where in the hamstring, which hamstring muscle, and is it the same area or different areas? And is there an underlying problem of tightness, et cetera? No one wants to have a hamstring injury, but if you're going to have a hamstring injury, the absolute best time to have it is early preseason, training camp, when you have a 6-week window to go. The worst time to have it is, is when the season's already been in play. Look, A.J. Brown's he's a phenomenal receiver, done a great job. I still have more chronic worry about his knee. He's going to get vet rest there. And, there's always the good and the bad. The bad, you can say, look, he's got some knee issues. He's this, he's that. But let me tell you, without the knee issues, the Eagles wouldn't have gotten him. Why do you think Tennessee traded him, right? I mean, they were willing to part with him. It's because they knew about the knee issue. So you got to take the good with the bad. And right now, I'll take A.J. Brown all day long.
How about this one here? Boy, I'll tell you, I love talking and catching up with you again. You're such a great friend. Dr. Chow, I love we're being able to do this again here. Let me ask you something about Saquon Barkley. Injured 3 of the last 6 years when he was in New York. Pretty good knee injuries, too. Last year, he had over 460 carries a year ago, and he was just a workhorse. As you're getting older, with a guy who's had some pretty good knee injuries, what would be your advice as a team doctor to the coaches? I mean, do you put him on a pitch count? Do you worry about that? Because, again, 3 knee injuries in 6 years. How do you legislate that? And moving forward, he's such a catalyst. You could have made the argument he was the MVP of the league a year ago by the way he played. But as a team doctor, how do you treat him as you're going along? And now we're coming up to another year where he may have to carry the ball 400 times.
Look, Saquon's been great, right? It's been great for the Eagles. And you're right. I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league. Otherwise, he would have gotten the MVP.
That's right.
And the worry this year is as much about the interior of the Eagles' offensive line between Juergens and Dickerson and a new right guard, as you know. And quite honestly, Saquon's probably one of the very few, basically 3 down backs, right? He's going to get a lot of touches and mileages and carries, and he's been great. But yes, the more you drive a car, the more likely you're going to get in an accident, right? And it's just bad luck and touches and so forth. So hopefully it won't be the case for Saquon. But one of the things that I always say, yes, I worked in the league, I'm a team doctor, but look, you stay in your lane. Look, they don't often ask you what. I'll tell you a funny story only because Gates just got in the Hall of Fame. I remember one time in Gates' career, they said, we really need him. We really need him this week. How about 10 to 12 red zone plays? And the athletic trainer and I said, okay, here you go. Here we go. And then at the end of the first quarter, I said, I think he's already hit his limit. At halftime, he doubled his limit. And we both looked at each other and chuckled. The analogy I'll give you is once you give a player the helmet or once you give the coach the okay to play a guy, even if you say snap count, it's like giving your teenager the keys to the car. You may say curfew's at 11. What time they come home is a different story, right?
I love it here. Let me ask you a couple of questions if you got some time here about some of the players in the league here. Slater, the Chargers, they lose their really top flight offensive tackle. I mean, what a catastrophic thing to have that happen in the preseason here, though. His chances of returning next year will be what when you have that kind of injury?
Well, it's a major injury. It's a catastrophic injury, but the good news is I do fully expect him to return. And the only good news about having this in this freak first preseason game, he's got the longest runway possible to return for next season. And the other thing is it's his left knee, outer knee. No, he was right knee maybe. But in any case, we saw it on video and we immediately said, unfortunately, it looks like patella tendon rupture. It's not the end of the world. In the AFC West, Simmons, the highly ranked left tackle from Ohio State, had a patella tendon rupture in college. And we said during the draft, he can be really very, very good because it wasn't his inside right knee, the power leg to kick out. It was his left knee. He's got a good runway. And I think he's the opening day starter for the Chiefs. And they're shoring up a much needed help on that left side for the Chiefs in the division. So with that being said, left tackle Rashawn Slater, it is not the end. It's just the end of 2025.
You mentioned Matthew Stafford's back. I mean, obviously the Rams are one of the favorites to knock off the Eagles this year in the NFC, and there's no chance for that football team without him being upright. I mean, he's an older guy. I mean, as a team doctor, how do you legislate that right there, knowing full well that they're not going anywhere without him? And it's a back, which could be rehabilitating throughout the season. How do you look at that injury with the Rams?
Well, the best thing you probably can do for Matthew Stafford is out of the doctor's hands. It's in the GM's hands to get him a really good offensive line. That's number one. But look, I'd rather have Matthew Stafford than not. The only guy I can compare, and I'm not just trying to compare it to my guys, but I think it's a good comparison to Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had that longevity streak. Matthew Stafford is on a similar streak. Matthew Stafford's played through broken this and that. But we said early on when we love Sean McVay, but there's a lot of coach speak coming out there day to day. I'm like, day to day, like I'd rather have, and I said this on my podcast, I'd rather have a transverse process fracture that can be good in 2 or 3 weeks than this nebulous came out of nowhere back injury, which speaks more towards herniated disc. And that's what it seems it is now with the epidural steroid injections. Those are tricky. Once again, best case scenario, Phillip Rivers played through a whole season with one, getting epidurals. Worst case scenario, it ended Tony Romo's season late in his career once with surgery. Where is Matthew Stafford going to fall? It remains to be seen. And remember, he had some big time neck issues 2 years back too. And look, let's hope he comes back and let's keep him from getting hit and ball out quick and all of that good stuff.
2 last ones here for you. Nakobe Dean's injury. You know, they're not very optimistic he's coming back from this. And when you have injuries like Nakobe Dean has had, I mean, do you worry about him again? He came to the Eagles injured from Georgia. And now you're seeing him being a guy that's been repetitive when it comes to these injuries. What are you expecting on his return? Do you think that he'll be any kind of factor this year for them when it comes to Nakobe Dean's type of injury?
Well, first of all, when you talk about an ACL tear, that's like saying you got rear-ended in a car crash. What actually was damaged is the question. We know the ACL was damaged, but what associated damage, meniscus, articular cartilage, and that we don't know. But I can tell you that it is a hard recovery, certainly for the first half of the season for Nakobe Dean. Hopefully he can be back and closer to himself for the second half of the season. But look, you know, you can say all you want. He was injured at Georgia, this, that, the other. But I think your GM, Howie Roseman, has had a pretty good track record of drafting those Georgia and SEC kids, and they've worked out fine for the most part. So even if this one doesn't work out fully fine, I think you're way ahead of the game in terms of playing the field, playing the odds, and so forth. I think he'll be back. You just can't expect a lot from him early on this season.
Final question for you. You know, I had a conversation with John Lynch about the new fields and the new turf. And he and I are under the agreement that, you know, I get the old turf, Doc. You know, you and I know that turf was terrible. The upgrades that they have with the little beads and all that, you know, your foot gets a little more leeway to slide. But boy, I'll tell you, I see a lot more lower extremity injuries early on in the year. Now, is that from a lack of practicing the two-a-days and getting your body ready for the upcoming season? Or do you attribute that a little bit to the turf that we're seeing now that the NFL has gone to? Or maybe it's both. I don't know. How do you look at the new turf? Has it really been a factor?
First of all, there's no question the quote new turf is way better than the old turf. Okay?
Absolutely.
But there's also no question that in general, grass is better than the new turf. Okay, in general. Remember, there's all sorts of different types of new turf, and there's all sorts of different types of grass. And to me, it's about evenness and stickiness of the field and what give the field has. But evenness is important too. If you remember back in Houston, Reliance Stadium, when it first opened, it was grass and they were carting in pallets, but the pallets of grass had seams, and Wes Welker tore his ACL on a seam on the grass. So it's not just about the surface. In general, yes, grass is better than turf, but one of the reasons we see more of these lower extremity injuries and foot and ankle injuries and whatever is, think about it, Dan. My foot, ankle, Achilles, and ACL aren't really any bigger than any of the people in the NFL. And as players get bigger, faster, stronger, they're on the same size suspension. If, you know, NASCAR, IndyCar was on the suspension like my car, there'd be a lot of breakdowns too when you put all that horsepower on it and all the weight on it. So I think that plays a factor in it too in general. So it's a multifactorial answer. Look, if players want all grass fields, it's possible, but it comes at a cost. It's something that can be collectively bargained and so forth. But one thing you can't do is once the stadium, MetLife Stadium's been built, you can't retrofit it for a sliding grass field or turf. You got to do that on the front end. And owners, you know, it's not that they don't want to take care of guys and what have you. It's when you're building a stadium, you can't do Taylor Swift concerts if it's grass, right? You got to have, you can't put high school football games on there, college games on there. You can't do other events on there if it's grass, or it's a lot harder to. So it's an economic decision in the big picture. And if the league wants to go to all grass, you got to do it on the front end. And I don't want to hear about, oh, well, for the soccer players, they're putting on new grass. Okay. Yes. Short term, low usage, and it's average weight 150-pound guys, not 350-pound monsters, right? With their cleats digging in and tearing up. It's a different type of grass, a different field that they install for the World Cup type things, or when the European soccer clubs come into town.
I have to sneak this in on you. What did you feel about Gates going in, and how'd that make you feel about, he's the first player never to have played college, elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He probably didn't even know what to expect when he showed up as an NFL guy, when it came to the type of pain that he was going to have to go through. I know he was at Kent State. He played basketball. I mean, but how'd that make you feel when one of your guys went in?
Super proud, super glad to be there. It's the third time I've been there, and it's always been for a guy. The one for our guy Junior was very sad because he had passed away. Very happy when LT went in. This Gates one was special, not because of the shout out and thank you, but like I've been through a long time with Antonio Gates, and I really look at him as a friend and so forth. And since you're about good stories and having some fun, I'll tell you my good story that I actually have told before, but I got confirmed in Canton. When Gates was a rookie, was first-year player and, basketball player, Kent State Elite Eight, he was playing. He made our roster, but he was a couple catches a game, 2-3 catches a game. Then he had a breakout game with 11 catches and over 100 yards at home. And let me tell you, I joked that I had a very small piece of it. There was a national anthem singer that sang the national anthem and killed it. And I said to Gates, "Did you see that national anthem singer?" He's like, "Yeah, she did great. She was amazing." I said, No. Look at her jersey. That's not 55. That's not 37, Rodney Harrison. That's 85. And he looked and he went, "Oh, wow." And he had a great game. And the truth of the matter is that the young lady had long blonde hair covering the nameplate. And that was Tim Dwight's 85 jersey from last year, not Gates' 85 from this year. And I asked a couple of vets on the sideline. I said, "Should I tell him that?" And I remember Vaughn Parker, our right tackle, telling me, "Nah, the more you can do." And then he had a nice breakout game. We retold that story at Canton after he got in, and he got a good laugh, and he did remember the scenario. So we can have some fun while we're working there too.
Tell folks how they can find you and tell folks what you're doing. And God, I so hope we can do this again. I just love catching up with you, my friend. I mean, tell the folks how they can find you.
Well, Twitter is at ProFootballDoc, but at SixScore or www.sicscore.com. Sports Injury Central. We cover everything, believe it or not, from WNBA injuries to NFL, and even the NASCAR racer who broke his collarbone. We did that in real time. We do injury analysis. Are we perfect? No, because we're analyzing without looking at x-rays or MRI, but we try and tell you what it means ahead of time. We've shown that we're 95% accurate, and we're having fun with it. Billy Walters endorses us. You know who Billy Walters is, the greatest NFL gambler of all time. And last month we had Bill Belichick on the podcast, and he endorsed us. So I guess we're pretty diverse. Bill Belichick and Billy Walters, kind of thing. That's covering a lot of the spectrum, and we have fun. Like I said, we're the only place that does true injury analysis as opposed to reporting. We don't have sources. I know doctors from around the league and the athletic trainers, but if I called them up and asked them what's happening with Landon Dickerson, the Eagles guy, I know the Eagles doctor really, really well. He would hang up on me. He would say, "No, I can't tell you, dude. I mean, it's HIPAA, right?" And so this is why we do it on analysis. And, I worked on the other side, so I know a little bit how it works. And, when the ammonia popper controversy came up and it was banned, we did a podcast that you can't ban that. That's got to be collectively bargained. The only thing is, the league is saying we're not going to supply it because we don't want liability. Yes, but like in the old days, right? There were piles of Advil that you could just grab.
Oh, absolutely.
But they stopped that. But you can always go to the drugstore and bring your own Advil. The league can't stop you from doing that. But they just stopped supplying the big bowl of Advil.
Do you know what I told people on the smelling salts? I go like this. I go, yeah, because you know what they were doing? Because when you got a stinger, a small concussion, that's what we called them back in the day. You're doing that to clear your head so you can get back out there, what the league doesn't want to do. And, hey, Doc, I know they don't want to be in a courtroom. They don't want to deal with that CTE. So they told you this, bring your own bottle, basically, right? Bring your own.
Yeah, but I'm not blaming the league and saying, look, if the league could outlaw it, they probably would have, but they're not able to because of the CBA. And here's what the league's worried about. You know this. Nothing against them, but the strength and conditioning guys have it in their pocket and they're handing it out. There's no athletic trainer or doctor that would give a guy smelling salts if they thought they had a head injury. Nobody. But maybe they're grabbing it from from the cabinet or grabbing it from a non-athletic trainer. That's what they're trying to prevent. And I get that from their perspective. But, George Kittle is still going to be able to do his poppers when he wants to. And look, I know one coach used to be a player that he does it on the sideline, but it's just part of ingrained culture. I'm not saying good or bad. It's just players want to do it. And as long as you're not messing with concussions and doing it to treat guys that got their bell rung, I mean, it is what it is.
We got to go out and have a beer again. Absolutely great. We have to do this and catch up again. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks,
you were
Dan.
spectacular. And make sure, guys, that you check out the Pro Football Doc. Make sure you check out anytime there's a situation when it comes to an injury. He will give you a bird's eye view of what that's going on and how he's looking at it from up about 30,000 feet there, right? Because we don't want to put you in there because you're not looking at it, right? But
Correct.
He's giving you the best analysis that you could possibly get. Doc, thank you so much for doing this. I so appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
You got it. Dr. David Chow, absolutely a wonderful guy. We appreciate him so much doing this. That's great stuff, man. So, Bob Lang put that out. Huh. Bob Lang put that out. Yes. That came from the Eagles. That's a PR because a doctor's not putting that out. He can't. Doctors who are treating Landon Dickerson can't put that out. Well, where'd that come from? That came from the Philadelphia Eagles and Bob Lang. It did not come from a doctor. Unless a doctor's giving his opinion like Dr. Chow just did. So, best case scenario, Bob put that out from the Eagle doctors. And that's what they said. So, can you take it to the bank? Yes. That's an Eagle press release. And I have no problem putting my name on that. And I'll even tweet that out. The Eagles put that out. No doctor can do that because of HIPAA laws. Of course it came from the Eagles, Sills. Is Sills high? Oh, okay. So the Philadelphia Eagles put that out. And Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport are saying what? Sources? That's the PR department with the Philadelphia Eagles putting that out. That's why it's best case scenario. I knew it when they said that. MJ, thank you very much, brother. They're saying best case scenario. There's another one up there too, Z. They are saying best case scenario because it's not season ending. It's literally best case scenario after all the rumors swirling last night. Yeah, once again, we were very careful because I had the same procedure, I think, that Landon went through. Thank you, London. I appreciate that. Okay? You know what's funny? Xander, were you and John talking about David Chow today? Were you guys talking about him? Because I went, let me text him. I've gone out to dinner with him numerous times. My wife knows him. My kid knows him. I mean, we've known him a long time. And was that Xander? Were you guys talking about him? Because I heard it from somewhere. I said, well, let me get him on. He'll come on for me. That's the kind of Rolodex we have. I mean, it's crazy. Maybe he should be like your daddy and tell everyone he's going to be all right. There's no injury. It's not going to be harder, but maybe telling, I don't have no idea what you're talking about. finishing that. He's already had the procedure. That's not what the report was. The report is that he's going to have surgery. Hold on here. What's this guy saying? Bro, so you just heard the doctor talking. He gave you his insight. And by the way, he was the San Diego Charger team physician. He was the Chargers team physician for like 10 years. And then another guy by the name of Dr. David Chow ended up becoming the team doctor for the Chargers. I don't know who the guy is now, but I know a bunch of these guys. Yeah, Jimbo, we're just lucky. Okay, we're very lucky. That's okay. Xander will have it posted. You can go back and watch it. He gave you his analysis. By the way, he's one of the most interviewed pro doctors when it comes to talking about injuries like this. How about this with Nakobe? Boy, he was not very good on Nakobe's injury. And, he thinks he'll be back, but he thinks it's going to be a little bit more, a little bit longer. I fell off a ladder once and sprained my high knee. Get well, Landon. Okay? Yeah, so, I mean, as we said, we made very sure that we were very careful on what those guys were going to and how those guys were reporting that. Okay? We did. We were very careful. It's still good news on Dean because he didn't say that it's catastrophic. That's correct. Okay? He did not. But is anyone really missing Nakobe? Yeah, I think the Eagles would be just a deeper football team. We get it, Sills. You get awesome guests. I am always impressed at the connections you have. Me too. Seriously, Xander said this. Hey, why don't you get why don't you get Herm Edwards on? Oh, okay. Coach, can you come on? Yeah, sure. I'm like, okay. Right? Let's see here. I hate an injury to take place regardless if it's serious or not. This is not what I want to hear this close to the season. That's my problem too. How close it is to the season is that we're talking about August 11th. Let me get that Ian Rappaport. Let me get that Schefter thing again. I want to show you something here. How this is completely an Eagle released. Best case scenario. I'm just going to tweet it. This is an Eagles Bob Lang special. Eagles Bob Lang special. Absolutely. Best case scenario. Bob Lang, Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson will undergo what's being described as a minor procedure. He hasn't had it yet because the swelling has to go down, folks. On the meniscus in his right knee in the coming days. Dickerson will be considered week to week with the goal of returning for the season opener on September 4th versus the Dallas Cowboys. It's completely, okay? It's completely a press release. Doctors can't tell you. The Eagle doctors can't tell you or give you any insight on his injury. He loves to brag about them, but still, Sills really does elevate the channel with these guests. Curtis, brag about him. I'm shocked I get him too. Honestly, we've just know a ton of people. I don't know how. I guess it's all the years of us doing it. And plus, what I love the fact that they'll come on anything I'm doing, whether it's here, Tampa, anywhere else. I ask, they come on for us. We're just very lucky. Oh, by the way, pretty good for somebody who people think the league hates, and people, it's crazy. I doubt they play him week 1. I don't think they're going to play him week 1 either. I don't. I think they could. You're telling me you don't think you could beat the Dallas Cowboys without Landon Dickerson? I think you could beat. I think Tanner McKee can beat the Cowboys. You feel me? I think Tanner McKee could beat the Cowboys. Right? Keeley needs to be the guy. With more reps, he starts to finish plays. I'm not out on him yet. If more experience doesn't work, then it's uphill battle for the secondary. Slay and Mitchell were a luxury together. They were really good. I mean, Lamar, you're telling me you really need Landon Dickerson? Do you really need Landon Dickerson to beat the Dallas Cowboys? Good. Oh, I'm assuming that tweet you put out about Bob Lancaster. I'm assuming the tweet you put out about Bob Lang is sarcastic. He tries to make the Eagles the master of the cover-up, knowing from experience he's a terrible guy. This didn't come from me. I can't tell you who just said that. I knew I'm right. Holy cow. Okay, I'm going to tell Xander. Hold on. Xander, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send this to Xander. Then I'm going to take a time out. Xander. Oh, my God. This is... I want to make sure. Okay. Tell me if you got it, Big Z. Hey, tell me when you get it, Xander. Tell me when you get it. I don't know who it is. I oh my God. Oh my God. It's not. No. I'm good. I have to send this back. No, it's not sarcastic. I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you. I got to take a time out here, man. My good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America, folks. And they're number one because they win. With thousands of attorneys from coast to coast. Holy cow, this is what makes Morgan & Morgan the number one injury law firm in the world. For more info, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
I know it was you, Fredo. You can't hide from me, Fredo. Hey, Fredo Lang, I know it was you. You're the one that betrayed the family. You can run, but you can't hide. Not from Big Sills. Let me say this to you, my friend. Fredo Lang, I know it was you. This guy's contacting all the big name guys and not the local dudes and telling him best case scenario. Doctors don't talk like that. Hey, best case scenario, this guy's hemorrhoids won't be that flared up by September 4th. Dude, you see, get this. You don't get that anywhere else. You don't get that on that 97.5, the producer radio station, and you don't get it on that ass kissing WIP. I mean, holy cow. I know it was you, Fredo. At the end of the day, though, it is good news. It is. But here, I'll say it one more time to you guys. You don't need Landon Dickerson to beat the Cowboys. I'd rest that guy. You're going to need him for Kansas City and the Rams and the Bucks. The lesser of the 4 teams is the Cowboys. Right? Screw that. I'm not playing that guy. I'm going to put somebody else's ass in there. Or how about this? I may play him, but I'm not playing him the entire game. I may start him. Does this make sense? All right? Right? Still's got a beef with cross-dressing broad. I just got a problem with those guys not talking about how Odyssey is firing people and not paying their bills. And then trying to dog us out because they're in bed with some loser station in Philly. And then they turn around and say and talk shit about us when we're kicking their ass. That's the only problem I got. Yeah. And by the way, cross-dressing broad, Come on, like that Philly sports thing. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant to us. We got bigger fish to fry. What would my friend Big Joe Krauss say? Punch up. I don't care about them people anymore. I got bigger things to do. I don't really care. I do like that Missinelli got blown out because of all the shit he said on the show about me. So, yeah, I do dig that. But outside of that, I don't really care about that station. And I hope the rest of them all good. See, if the Eagles have 30-plus in the first half, I would throw in my second team. Me too. I'd get everyone out of there. I'm not putting my guys at harm's way in there. I saw this. This was hilarious. This is the prime example of the Cowboys. Cowboys get run over. Guys on the sidelines cheering. And the guy CD gets blasted by the ref. That was absolutely awesome that he got blasted. Hey, I'm getting blown up here now. I think we may have started something here. Because I basically have now figured it out. Bob Lang contacts Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport when they want something allegedly released, and it's Bob doing it. I just got it confirmed. So anytime you see Schefter, the Eagles put it out. So the Eagles contacted the two national guys. There's nothing wrong with that because the doctor wouldn't do that. Dr. Chow just told you. Team doctors, because of HIPAA, they're not going to put anything out. Right? What am I missing here? My 5-year-old niece could have to us, the Eagles put that information out. I'm not a Sills hater, but this one got me stumped. What do you mean? What am I missing here? My 5-year-old niece could have to us, the Eagles put that information out. I'm not a Sills hater, but this one has got me stumped. Well, why would the Eagles feel compelled to put that out there? But why would they feel compelled to put that out there without a doc? Well, unless again, Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter had no idea. The Eagles wanted that out. Best case scenario, I knew it was fishy when they released that statement. And it has to be worded right so that the Eagles don't come back and this thing comes back on them. Like if he misses 3 or 4 games, they made sure they protected themselves, the two reporters. Do you understand? It's about the reporters, MJ. It's not about the birds putting that out. It's about the reporters protecting themselves. Best case scenario, they added that. Okay? The Eagles are expecting him to be there for week 1. That's all I'm saying. It was the reporters that had a problem with the report. That's why they added that. Best case scenario. It's all good. Try to slip one by Big Sills. That ain't working. How you doing? Don't worry. Xander will be getting calls all night. Hey, the guy in town, this guy's a son of a bee. He gets everybody on the planet on. And they come in and they do that. And Xander's like, I can't control it. And oh, my God. It's so good. What do we got tomorrow? Let me see. Who we got tomorrow here? I think we got Bob Gullick tomorrow. Oh, we're going to get Gary Cobb tomorrow, too. So let me see what we got tomorrow here. Jim Kelly. I believe we're getting Jim Kelly on tomorrow, too. So, 4-time AFC champion and first ballot Hall of Famer. We will get his ass on, too. So, guys, great stuff as always. Make sure if you missed that Dr. Chow interview, you guys go back and watch it because I thought he was awesome. Not just so much as breaking down injuries, but really kind of telling stories along with it, which I really dug. And we've known him a long time, and he was really cool. So we're going to have him on again, and he'll be our go-to guy. And by the way, he'll become officially the JAKIB Sports doctor when it comes to covering and going to our go-to guy, or at least for me, he'll be our go-to guy. Thank you very much. Fun time today. By the way, I think you guys got some great news. All right? I do. I think you guys got some super news. All right. Till tomorrow, don't forget to check out Birds 365 in the morning. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to hit the like button 2 to 6, and we shall see you on the flip side.